Okay, here we go. We are live now. Okay, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great day today. Okay, let me just put this on, Okay, let me just put this on Twitter here. Okay. Okay. Okay, 1 second here. Let me just make sure chat's working, everything. Can you guys hear me good? Also, the next part of Ace Attorney is actually processing right now, so for anybody wondering about that, right after the stream is up, it will be uploaded. Okay. Okay, hello everyone. Can we help Venge with his business first? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help each person with 3 of their businesses, just to try to make it fair that I can help as many people as I can. So I'll try to help everybody with 3 business sales. Hey Snake, Marcus, Newfire, Alfie, how are you guys? Hey Pro, how you been doing? Been a while since we last spoke. Hey, how are you doing, Red Dead Redemption Outlaw? And Red Dead Redemption Outlaw, I'll tell you something, is, I'm gonna be making a video eventually. I just don't know when I'll get around to it. But I know it's before spring ends. I want to make a video on Red Dead Online, which I haven't done a Red Dead Online video in like a year, probably more. I mean, I do streams for it, but I haven't done a Red Dead Online video in a long time. And that Red Dead Online video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically rank the updates on Red Dead Online from worst to best. If I had my way with the Saints Row reboot, it would be a very New Jack City American gangster influenced. I'd even call it American Vice set in the late 80s. Well, do you know that is what Saints Row 3, I think, was supposed to be originally? It was supposed to be a story that was supposed to be like in the 1970s on how Julius formed the Saints. That's what this portion of it was supposed to be. But that project I know is canceled. Thank you, Naughty JJ Aftershock. And thank you, Agent Reaper. Howdy, how are you, man? That's awesome. Can't wait to see it. Look forward to seeing your video before I hit 200,000. Well, thank you, Red Dead Redemption Outlaw. Make sure you guys check out Red Dead Redemption Outlaw's channel. He's a great guy also. Does a lot of Red Dead content. Oh, well, I saw it. I was a bit confused, though, why it was, I was a bit confused on this why it was censored, Mario, but I saw the clip, yeah. What console am I on? I'm on the PS5. I'm having that GTA patch to God Mode van. Did they really? Is that confirmed? When did that happen? I guess I must have missed that. Is that recent, or has that been patched for some time? You're talking about Speedo Custom. God Mode glitch? Is that what you're talking about? What Ace Attorney witness did I like the most? Great question. The Ace Attorney witness that I like the most, oh, it's been patched for months? I guess I missed it then, when it happened. I guess I just didn't see it when it happened. Can you show your brightness settings? Sure, let me just deliver the first package. Because it's just, if I stop this thing, this acceleration rate on it's going to be so slow. Agent Reaper, yes, thank you, Agent Reaper. Thanks for sharing the poll, dude. Just passed 3,000 votes on it, thanks to you. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go to my community page. Okay, Blinded Eagle, thank you for the super chat. Yes, Phoenix Wright's testimony was pretty cool, too, in Apollo. I can tell you that the witness, I don't know about which witness I like the most, because most of the times the witnesses are scumbags or they're lying about something. But the witness that I would say pissed me off though the most in Ace Attorney's Lot of Heart is she's always there causing problems. She was just there at 2 different murder cases, and she was just talking a bunch of nonsense in both cases. I can help you at the end of the heist, Pierston. We should do it just me and you, 2 players, because 2 players can actually probably take all the diamonds. It'll be a fun challenge to do with 2 people. One guy wanted to see my brightness settings, right? What is that under? That's under, camera it will be under? Oh, display. Brightness, it's a little bit more than half. Motion blur. I should probably turn that off, shouldn't I? I think the second GTA 6 trailer will release before the end of spring. That's what I think. Hey Pro, I play solo. I have a medium warehouse. How many crates do you suggest me to sell to make good money besides doing the 9 crate method? You solo, you have medium warehouses. Well, honest, thank you, nicest person in the universe. Thank you for the super chat. But here's the thing: is if you're a solo player, you can really only do 9 crates. You can't do the other missions. The reason you can't do the other missions is because if you go over 9 crates, it's going to be 2 vehicles. And the thing about that is, if you go over, I don't know if 10 crates you can get the Titan. I'm not sure on that. I haven't tested that fully, but I know that over 9 crates, you will basically get a yeah, you will basically get that after 9 crates. You can get multiple vehicles. Ready for Manhunt 2? First part of it will be up tomorrow. You missed my chat. Oh, we love Blue Wolf. You've been watching my content for a while and I really enjoy it. Well, thank you, Blue Wolf. Blue Wolf, you wanted me to add you last stream. I asked you what your PSN was, but you never posted it. You can go over 9 crates and have 1 vehicle. I've sold 20 crates once. Let me guess. You had the tugboat, didn't you? It was the tugboat? It was a tugboat, because that you can get even with 111 crates. And you can also get the Titan, which is technically, I guess, 1 vehicle. But the thing about, the thing is, though, is if you go over, if you are at 9 crates, you will only have 1 delivery vehicle every time. It'll only be like 1 Cuban, plane, 1 truck, or a tugboat. But if you go at 10 crates, you can have 2 Cuban planes, you can have 2 trucks. Do you see TGG's video on how to never get post-op cell missions? Well, I'd have to look at that. I'm curious what his method is, but you got me interested. I will take a look at it after the stream. I'll probably leave a comment on the video. Is that a Godfather 2 cosplay? Also, a fun fact, the Hunter Cavalry and the Carson Opus from Burnout Paradise are in Godfather 2 as cars. They are? I didn't really pay attention to the vehicles in the Godfather 2, but yes, this is roughly the same outfit that I had in the Godfather 2. The only difference, this is my Florida outfit, basically. This is what this is. 1950s Florida gangster. But the difference is I don't have the sunglasses. That's the only thing I don't have on this here. Wendy Oldbag is very annoying in Ace Attorney. Oh yeah, she is, definitely. Thank you, Mr. Wade from Agent Reaper. Oh, Blinded Eagle made a super chat. I'm sorry if I missed it. Thanks for sharing the poll, dude. It just passed 3,000. Yeah, I read the comment. Thank you for the super chat, Blinded Eagle. Bro, will you do another scammer video? I want to see you do a New York accent, 26 Rihanna, your Southern accent. I think it'll be hilarious. Southern accent will probably be a little harder for me to do. I could probably think like I'd have to practice. Because I can probably put on a good Southern accent, but I have to practice. But I can do a pretty good New Yorker accent. I could probably do that. You know, I can do two. Basically, I'm pretty good at New Yorker accents, and I can do two New Yorker accents. So I can do the lighter New York accent. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Like that one. Or I can do like the more heavier New York accent, which would be, hey, dude, what are we doing today? Like, you know, that one. But yes, if I find like another scammer's phone number, I will contact them and I will you know, piss them off. Thank you, PlayStation fanboy. Thank you, Mario. Was it funny though? The Ku Klux Klan got roasted in that clip. Gene Rayburn summed up our thoughts of that group. I think they stink. Thank you for the super chat, Mario. But yeah, I don't know why they banned that episode I don't know why they banned that episode of Password Plus, because they were making fun of the Ku Klux Klan. They're calling them a bunch of scumbags, which they are. If Saul Goodman was an Ace Attorney, I think he would be one of those hated characters, hated by everybody. Yeah, probably. The scummiest lawyer in the Ace Attorney series, in the older games, the scummiest lawyer is, what's his name? I forget the guy's name. Somebody might know the character that I'm talking about. He's the guy who gets killed by Yanni Yogi in the third case. Yanni Yogi killed him in the boathouse. That guy was the scummiest lawyer in the Ace Attorney series. I forget the guy's name. Oh, Match Game. I thought it was the Password Plus thing. I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. Is Catalina in GTA a sociopath? No, she is most likely a psychopath. Yeah, the thing about this is, Elon Musk seemed like an idiot to me when he was attacking GTA 6, because the thing is, it seems like Elon Musk knows what GTA 5 is, because he made like a tweet where he basically put out like a cow and Rockstar's milking GTA 5 constantly, and then he's saying that GTA 6 is going to be too violent. So I don't know if he's trolling, if he's being serious, or, you know, what's going on. I believe you were talking about Edgeworth's dad. No. Edgeworth's dad was a pretty honorable guy. I'm talking about the guy who got killed in the that Yanni Yogi killed. He tried to frame Edgeworth. It was the guy on the boat. He didn't die in the boat. He died in the boathouse. But Yanni Yogi tried to frame Edgeworth when he met him on the boat. It was the guy he killed in the boathouse beforehand. That guy, he was like the scummiest lawyer in the Ace Attorney series, because he didn't care at all about his clients. And he didn't care whether the clients were guilty or not. He just wanted to get them off, just to get payday, basically. Yeah, well, Elon might have been trolling. I remember when Elon Musk, when he put out like that tweet that like it pissed so many people off. But if you know anything about firearms, you would know that it was fake. He posted like a picture of his like bedstand, and I think there's like a Coca-Cola can or bottle on it, and then there was like a gun on the bedstand. And there was like people that were freaking out about it, getting pissed off over it, but it turns out that the gun that Elon posted on there was fake. It wasn't real. If you actually look at it closely, it's not real. But people were just, you know, jumping to conclusions, and they basically fell for that troll. Who's the most evil, non-story psychopath in the Dead Rising games? You mean like the bosses that you encounter in like the world? Not part of the main story? The most evil psychopath in the Dead Rising series. The problem with Dead Rising is that every single boss you encounter, the game registers them as a psychopath. So like when you defeat them, it just says psychopath defeated. But the thing is though, is that not every character is a psychopath in those games. I would say the only psychopath that I can think of in Dead Rising 1 was the military commander at the end. That guy, the Special Forces commander, that guy you could definitely argue he was a psychopath. But a lot of the other characters, they were just people that basically just snapped during the zombie outbreak. That's I would not describe them as psychopaths. The Godfather Part 3. Oh, you have a picture of Silvio. Silvio's my favorite Sopranos character. But anyways, the Godfather Part 3. I thought The Godfather Part 3 wasn't a bad movie. I don't think it was like an amazing movie. I think Godfather 2 and 1 were way better movies. But when people were saying that it sucks, I don't think it sucks. What about Adam? Well, Adam was a clown, and when he basically the reason that Adam snapped is because he saw his audience, which was a bunch of kids and adults, get eaten by zombies, and that's basically why he snapped. So that's what I would say about Adam, is Adam basically snapped because of that. So Adam wasn't like a bad person before that. He basically just went completely insane because of the outbreak. That's what I'll say about Adam.
Believe.
We're getting some pretty bad missions. What about the cult leader? Now you actually have a point there. You do have a point. The cult leader actually could be a psychopath because of how manipulative he is. That could very much be it. He might not even. The thing is, though, is now that I think about it, no, he probably isn't a psychopath because a psychopath would not believe in a cult like that in the first place. A psychopath wouldn't fall for something a cult, like they would see right through it. He's probably not a psychopath because he actually does believe in the cult, because like when you defeat him, he like prays to that sword for it to give him strength. He doesn't admit that it's all like a scam and a lie, and the sword just falls on him. So TK is probably the most evil antagonist in the series. Tyrone King. Yeah, Tyrone King is a pretty bad guy. The general in Dead Rising 3 was a pretty bad guy as well, too. What is it? I would say, you know, who do you guys think is more evil? You guys think Sullivan or Tyrone King? Anybody who's played Dead Rising 2? Because honestly, it'd be pretty hard to think who's worse, Sullivan or Tyrone King. Tyrone King probably did more damage, I would say, in the end. But Sullivan was like the one who planned out the whole zombie outbreak too, and basically tried to frame Chuck for it. So Sullivan was a pretty bad guy. The worst one is Kent. Oh, Kent, the psycho photographer. Yeah, I remember that too. How do you get that alternate scene with Kent in Dead Rising 1? Because I know with Kent, there's 2 boss battles with Kent. I know that. There's the first boss battle is the one where he there's 3 endings to Kent. The first ending is if you fail the quest, he just basically laughs at you and walks away. You never see him again. The second ending with Kent is basically where he tries to like infect like a guy with a zombie parasite, and he tries to film it, and Frank just like squashes it and he gets pissed and attacks you. And the third one is like Kent pulls a gun on Frank and then basically just takes all his clothes, and you have to like fight Kent with like no weapons. I don't know how you get that second boss battle, like that alternate scene with him, but that was why didn't Tony kill Artie for pointing a gun at him? If it was anyone else, they would be dead. Yeah. The thing is, though, is Stephen lost his mind. Convicts are in a crime career. Oh yeah, the convicts were already terrible people beforehand. But the thing about that is Stephen is just like a retail manager. So he's pretty realistic for a retail manager. What is it here? About Tony not killing Artie. The reason that Tony didn't kill Artie is for 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons why he didn't kill Artie. The first reason is because Tony's mom was trying to get either Tony or Artie killed. So if Artie killed Tony, then Tony's mom would have laughed at that. If Tony had killed Artie, she would have laughed at that too. The whole reason that she told Artie about Tony burning down the restaurant was basically just for that confrontation to happen, because she just wanted to, for Artie to confront Tony. It wasn't that she felt bad for Artie or anything like that. She just told Artie because she just wanted to create more conflict. That was the whole reason for it. So if Tony had actually killed Artie, Livia would have been cheering at that. She would have been very happy with that. So Tony didn't want to give his mother the satisfaction of that. And the second reason is because when you really think about it, Artie is Tony's only real friend. I would say that Artie is even more of a friend to Tony than Silvio is, which Silvio is probably Tony's closest friend in the family. But Artie is a civilian, but Tony went to school with Artie. So Tony knows him from childhood. They were really good friends when they were kids. And so that's why Tony doesn't, have Artie clip for that. Because, Artie's probably the only guy who could get away with, doing something like that to Tony and wouldn't get punished. I mean, look at what happened with Artie is, remember when Artie borrowed, what was it, like 50 grand from Tony to pay that French guy that was scamming him with the wine or the vodka, whatever it was? That was like, nobody else would have gotten away with that. If like anybody else had basically borrowed 50 grand from Tony like that, they would have been screwed. But like Tony basically said, don't worry about it. We'll wipe my tab at the restaurant, and I'll assume the scammer's dead. So I'll take care of him. That was basically it. So he's basically Tony's childhood friend. And another reason that Tony is so close to Artie, one of the reasons that they're so close together, is because when Tony was in school, when Tony and him went to the same school, the gym teacher that Tony had that he sees in his nightmares, that gym teacher bullied Tony, but also bullied Artie. So that nightmare that Tony has, the gym teacher was talking crap about Artie, telling him that Artie's like an idiot, doesn't know how to do anything. And then Tony says that Artie, owns a successful restaurant. So he was saying like he didn't believe in us and stuff like that. So basically, Tony kind of sympathized with Artie because they were both being bullied by the exact same teacher also. So that basically made their friendship stronger. So that's why I say it's like, Artie is like Tony's only real friend. Like, he does not have any friends. Even when Carmela tells him that, like, you don't have any friends, that, like, everyone's scared of you, they laugh at your jokes only because they're scared of you, that's kind of true, is Tony really has no true friends. Artie is really his only friend. I wouldn't even call Silvio, like, a complete true friend either. Silvio is loyal, but that doesn't make him Tony's, closest friend. That's not what I would say. There's a difference between loyalty and friendship. That's what I would say about it. So thank you for that super chat, Mr. Nowhere. Lexi, thank you. I've sold crates solo a lot. For planes, get in to load the drops on the map, then check the spots for enemies in a fast aircraft. There's plenty of time. Yeah, I guess you could do that, but it's still, I would say it's still, like, stressful, just doing that alone. But I get where you're coming from with that, Lexi. You said join, and there wasn't a way for me to. Next time, you may have to invite me. And, you should just be able to join me manually. You have me added as a friend. When I tell people to join my session when I'm streaming, I just say, just click on my name and just hit join session. You can try doing that right now. See if you can get in. There's still spots in this lobby. That's how everybody else gets in here. Everybody else is my friend, and they just hit the join button and they get in here. So, just try hitting join on my name. See if you can get in. Thank you, Ann, for the super chat. Okay. Okay, I took him out of the chat. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm sorry I didn't see that comment earlier. I don't know why people are doing that. But I kicked him out. Bro, I know in GTA 3, it's in GTA 3, but who says if he squeals, I squeal? Oh, that's easy. That is Ray Machowski is the one who says that, the corrupt cop in the bathroom. He's the one who says that to Claude. Bro, your camera is low quality? What? No, it's I've used this camera for a long time. Is there something wrong with my camera, guys? My favorite Dead Rising character? You mean other than a playable character? My favorite playable character, I would say, is probably Frank. If you're saying who my favorite non-playable character is, think about that one. I hope he's okay, NBA. Brad, yeah, Brad is pretty cool. Brad is a good guy too. Also, I watched GTA 4 plus episodes of Liberty City get ported to PS4 Switch, cost $70, and not include multiplayer. I would love for GTA 4 to be ported to PS5, but I want multiplayer. I want that. Thank you, Blinded Eagle. That show was Match Game, not Password Plus. I think may have been the actual question Gene asked the contestant that got the episode banned. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Mario. I thought you were talking about GTA 5, Brad. No, we're talking about Dead Rising, Brad. Oh, I'm not flying, guys. I'm not doing this. This is Nihon Superiority who's doing this. I don't know how to fly that good. I'm not that great of a pilot. What I'm really good in is helicopters. When I'm dogfighting people in helicopters, I can kill them with helicopters. But planes, no, I'm not that good at plane. Why was Japan so ruthless to POWs? You see here. Okay. Okay, and I'll help you with this one other business venture, and then I'll go on helping another person because I want to help each person with 3 businesses. The reason that and Lamar, I'll answer your question in this one moment. Thank you for the super chat, man. The reason that Japan was so ruthless to prisoners of war in World War II was because of their culture. That was the main reason. Bushido, which was the code of the samurai, Japan valued that a lot. Even though Japan transitioned from a samurai government, is that it didn't have a samurai government anymore, but they still highly valued the samurai, and one of the samurai's codes was basically you fight to the death. In samurai culture, there is no such thing as surrender. Surrender does not exist. It's not a concept. And the belief in Japanese culture at that time is that the emperor was a god. So this was very different than even like a lot of European monarchs at that time, because the thing is though, you had a few different monarchs in Europe. You had like constitutional monarchs, then you had absolute monarchs with absolute power. But oftentimes the absolute monarchs, they were seen as God's representative on Earth. They weren't seen as an actual god, but more of God's representative. Where the emperor in Japan, for example, was actually seen as a living god. He was seen as a god that exists on Earth. And the thing about the Japanese emperor is that if you surrender, you basically surrender. You are making the emperor look bad. Basically, you are defying the god. That is pretty much what it is. You are embarrassing, shaming. You're shaming yourself in front of the god. And that is, how do you know all this info? I like to read a lot. Yanni Yogi was the defendant, not the lawyer. I'm not talking about Yanni Yogi. I'm talking about the guy that Yanni Yogi killed. The guy that Yanni Yogi killed in the boathouse in Ace Attorney Musho was like the scummiest attorney in the Ace Attorney games. That guy. The guy he killed in the case. I forget the guy's name. But yeah, that's what I was saying, is the Japanese basically saw, surrender as worse than death. They actually did. They saw surrender as, basically shaming yourself in front of the emperor. You are insulting your god, the emperor, your leader, and you're supposed to basically fight till death. Is anything else is unacceptable. And the Japanese believed in their religion, correct me if I'm wrong, that if you serve the emperor well, that you would be like a spirit that would basically be united with nature. I think that's what the Imperial Japanese believed would happen to them in death. I don't know what they believed would happen to them in death if they went against the emperor. That I have to look up, but that's basically explaining everything behind it. And the reason that the Japanese were so cruel to prisoners of war is because they saw them as the enemy, somebody that was fighting against their god, the emperor, and also their enemy surrendered to them. They gave up, and so they think that that's like extremely cowardly, and so because of that, they're just going to treat prisoners of war so inhumanely. GTA just kicked me. You're not the only one who got kicked. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Christine, try to rejoin. And Ant, did you manage to get in the lobby, by the way? And Lamar, thank you for the super chat. Why does getting a job feel impossible? What I'll say about that is because employers have very unreasonable expectations. That's what I would say about employers. Employers have very unreasonable expectations. And the thing is, though, is that I would say that the main problem with employers is that they want job experience with everything. And the thing is, though, is that everybody has no job experience at one point. It's like when you're applying to your first job, you have no job experience. So how the hell are you supposed to get job experience? So I would say that employers are just too demanding and too unreasonable. That's what I would say about them. And also, like, this whole thing with, like, the resume and, like, the cover letter and all that other stuff, to me, that just seems unnecessary. It just seems stupid, honestly. It's like, the only thing you should really do is just come in for an interview. You come in for an interview, you know, you explain your skills to the boss, you explain to him what you can offer to the company. That should really be it. I don't think, like, a cover letter, resume, or even college degree, I don't think that any of that is necessary. I think that it's just, you explain, you know, to the boss, you know, your qualifications, what you can do, what you can get done, and that's it. The only time I would see a college degree would be necessary is if you're going for a job that specifically needs that degree, like a doctor or something like that. But if you're just going in, like, you know, business, for example, and you know business pretty well, maybe, like, you come from a family of businessmen, so you don't really need to go to college, for example, for that. Maybe you just know business, you know numbers pretty well. So maybe, that's what I'll say about it, is that employers have just too unreasonable expectations about, you know, stuff like that. And I'll tell you something, is, if you go back to, like, the 1950s and, like, the 1960s and, like, the 1970s, in America, most people did not have college degrees back then, in, like, the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And a lot of people had decent jobs back then, too. The reason that most people had decent jobs, but they didn't have college degrees, is because college degrees back then was, like, a job that you specifically needed that degree for. Back then, if you wanted to, like, go to, like, a job for, like, a company, for example, like, you wanted to work in an office for a company. This is before, like, computers, but if you wanted to work in an office for, like, a company, for example, and you were supposed to be in charge of something for the company, what they would do back then in that time period is they would give you a class. The company would give you a class, and they would tell you, like, you know, we'll pay for your class, we'll train you, and that's that. And people would learn how to do it, and they would get the job afterwards. But, like, today, it's like the difference is you go in, and that's why people didn't have college degrees, because it wasn't really necessary for a lot of jobs. But now today, a lot of those exact same jobs that people didn't need college degrees for, now you apparently need college degrees for, and these employers are just so picky. So that's what I would say is the main reason that it gets so hard to find a job. It's just because the employers are just so unreasonable. That's just what I would say. They're too demanding. It's just too demanding with a lot of this stuff. It's ridiculous. It's like even if you want to get a job at, like, you know, just working as, like, a cashier in McDonald's, you need, like, all of job experience, and you need, like, a resume and a cover letter and all this. And I think that some McDonald's won't even hire you if you don't have a college degree, which that's, like, one of the stupidest things I've heard. It's like it's a minimum wage job or a little bit above minimum wage, and they're not going to hire you unless you have a college degree. It's one of the stupidest things that I've honestly heard of. So that's that. I hope that answers your question. It's just employers just unreasonable. And honestly speaking, I think that trade school would be more valuable than college, because trade school, you actually go to the school, you learn the trade, they'll teach you exactly what you need to do. They won't, like, waste your time with a lot of classes you don't need, and, you know, you'll learn how to do it. That's what I think about it personally. Is employers are just too unreasonable, and it's because of that. It wasn't just POW. Koreans were treated even worse. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Koreans were used as slave labor by the Japanese, and a lot of the Pacific islands that the U.S. actually landed on, the Japanese had Korean slaves on a lot of those islands, and the Korean slaves were the ones who would surrender en masse because they were enslaved by the Japanese, and they were basically being treated like crap. They had no, you know, loyalty towards the Japanese. The Japanese treated them like crap, but that was more the people that the Japanese conquered. The Japanese saw them basically as inferior to them. You know, they didn't see them as equals to them. What if Jason and Lucia can't swim, but when you do certain activities that increase your endurance or swimming skill gets better? Same with being a pilot. I don't mind something like that you learn how to swim better over time. San Andreas had that. I don't mind that, Blinded Eagle. And the same thing with pilot. Yeah, I don't mind that either. Thank you, Blinded Eagle, and thank you, Christine. Thank you for the super chat. Like 9 to 5 jobs. You know what I'll tell you is, like, 9 to 5 jobs, and this is not like, and listen, anybody that works like a 9 to 5 job here, I'm not insulting you when I say this. I just want to make that clear. But, like, working a 9 to 5 job, I used to be in that boat. I used to do stuff like that. What I'll tell you about that is that was, like, it was just, like, I wouldn't use the word depressing because I wasn't depressed, but I'm just trying to think of what word would I use to describe that. It's just like, it just puts you in such a down mood. That's what I would say, because the reason is because you wake up early in the morning. You probably wake up at 8 a.m. or before that. You wake up an hour before you go to work. You know, you go to work. You do the shift 9 to 5. You probably drive home. If you're like in the city, you're gonna be driving home for like an hour in traffic. It's gonna take you some time to get home. You get home like an hour or two later, 6 or 7. You know, you have dinner. You cook dinner. And you barely have any time for yourself, barely have any time to relax, go to the gym, watch a movie, maybe play some video games, maybe you have like an hour or two max at that. And then you gotta go to bed, get ready, do the exact same thing again the next day. And that's why I say like 9 to 5 jobs is like so, makes you feel so down personally because of that. It's like just doing that same cycle every day. It's just, yeah, nah, it's just, that's why I say it's like, and the thing is though, is once I quit retail, I realized how much my mental health improved. Like, my mental health improved so much when I quit retail. It was like just not having to, like, you know, go to that place anymore, and like doing something that I truly enjoy doing, which is, you know, YouTube. You know, when I quit retail like 4 years ago, like, you know, I realized how much my mental health has improved so much. Which game disappointed you the most? Which game disappointed you the most when you played? Democracy depends on a well-educated populace. Well, it depends what you mean by well-educated. Because you could make the argument that somebody that went to high school didn't go to college is well-educated. You can make that same argument. So I don't know if you could explain what you mean a little bit more on that, Emily. But it's very vague. When you say well-educated, that can like really mean anything. What game disappointed you the most when played? What game was I looking forward to but disappointed me the most? Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 probably. I was looking forward to Modern Warfare 3. I was excited for it to come out. It was a disaster. Modern Warfare 3, I would say, probably to answer your question, Kona. You keep missing my chat. Please focus. I'm sorry, Blade. I'm just posting. Have you heard of? Let me see here. Where's Blades? Have you heard of UTTP? They're a bunch of actual immature children who attack any fandom as soon as it becomes famous. They've been attacking Matt Putt of Game Theory once he made a goodbye video. I've never heard of that. But that honestly sounds like a bunch of losers, like harassing like a guy. If the guy wants to retire, let the guy retire. You went to work unmotivated in a way, yeah. Let me see here. How would I personally handle the Hirohito situation? Did the U.S. do the right thing? You mean by not prosecuting Hirohito, not having him hanged? Did the U.S. do the right thing? Yeah, probably we did. Now, the thing about this is Emperor Hirohito was not an innocent man. Hirohito was, you know, guilty of a lot of horrible things, and he was very well aware of the atrocities that Japan was committing and the bad things that Japan was doing. He was in no way like an innocent, you know, victim. He had a lot of power, and Hirohito could have ended that war earlier. Like, he could have ended that war years beforehand, and they, you know, it wouldn't have led to that many deaths on both sides. But what I will say about the reason the U.S. did the right thing by not having him hanged is because Hirohito was not a good man. He was a scumbag. But the reason that the U.S. did the right thing by not having him hanged is because, remember what I said earlier, the emperor is a god in Japan, in Japan at that time. Today, not really. But back then, the emperor was seen as a living god. If the U.S. had put him on trial and had him hanged, what that would have done is that would have caused endless rioting in Japan. Endless rioting. And that's what MacArthur realized. When MacArthur was doing his investigation, he was fully aware that the emperor was guilty of a lot of these atrocities that Japan had committed. But he knew that if he put the emperor on trial and had him killed, that basically what would happen is you would have endless civil war in Japan. You would have the population of Japan would basically turn on the U.S. instantly, and you would have like civilians doing like basically attacks, constant like bombings, like, you know, trying to stab U.S. soldiers, shoot U.S. soldiers. You would have stuff like that, and that's largely why the U.S. occupation of Japan was so peaceful for the most part. There was some rebels that would like fought against the U.S., but largely the U.S. occupation of Japan, of mainland Japan, was largely peaceful. And the reason for that was because the emperor told them to stand down. So remember, people at that time period were very brainwashed. They saw the emperor as a god. And when the emperor basically says on the radio, he says it's over, the war has ended, you know, we are ceasing hostilities, the people listened to him and they stood down. And they stopped, and they wouldn't, you know, fight. But if he got, you know, hung, you know, that would just, you have tons of people that would just be, you know, fighting. So Hirohito was a scumbag. He was guilty of a lot of the crimes he was accused of, but the U.S. couldn't kill him. Because if they did kill him, you would have way more people that would die. So unfortunately, the really messed up thing is you had to keep the guy alive, even though he was a horrible person. Because if you put him on trial and you had him killed, then there would have been endless civil war and endless, you know, rioting in Japan. That's why he wasn't hanged. Let's see here. What is your opinion on the Freedom Convoy that happened in Canada? I'm not going to talk about the politics of it, because I don't talk politics on this channel. It's largely a gaming channel. I'll stay away from that. The one thing that I will say about the Freedom Convoy, that protest that happened in Canada like a couple of years ago, the truckers, I'm very well aware of what happened. What I will say about that is you can have your disagreements with the truckers. You can disagree with them. You can say like I don't agree with what they're doing. That's fine. But the moment that you freeze somebody's bank account for protesting against you, you are violating their rights. And that's really the only time I'll talk politics, is when somebody's human rights are being violated. And those truckers had their human rights violated by the Prime Minister of Canada. I'm not going to say his name, but every single time I look at that guy, every single time I see that guy's face, I basically think of that. I think of the guy who basically froze people's bank accounts for protesting against them. I have never heard about that. In a democracy, I have never heard about that, about like a democratic country freezing people's bank accounts for protesting against the government. I have never heard of something like that. And so that was way out of line. That was way too much. And like I said, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing with the truckers. That's not the important thing here. Is you can disagree with the truckers all you want, but it's the point that you're freezing somebody's bank account for basically protesting against the government, which is a massive violation of people's rights. So that's what I'll say about that. Let me see here. Wait, who was bothering you, Emily? Hey man, how are you? Sorry a bit late. We're spending time with family. My grandparents are going to India, so I was saying my final goodbyes. Okay. Okay, Nikki. Okay, then, thank you for the super chat, Nikki. By well-educated, I mean the ability to find information. New York Times, Washington Post, White House press briefings, Department of State briefings. So the thing is, Emily is, I don't really want to start an argument with you, but two of those newspapers that you just mentioned before, New York Times and Washington Post, are extremely biased. Both of those. Both of those, newspapers are very left-wing biased. Fox News, for example, is right-wing bias. It's clear right-wing bias. The Hill is right-wing, bias. But New York Times and Washington Post are not, I wouldn't say that they're neutral, center, pieces. I've read those newspapers. I've read, New York Times. I've read Washington Post before. I've read all of them. I've read Hill. I've read Washington Post, New York Times. I've read Fox. I read all these medias, just to get their ideas of stuff. And I can tell you, Washington Post and New York Times are very left-wing and those stuff like that. White House press briefings, I would agree with you. White House press briefings are a good thing to watch. I agree with you on that. But the those newspapers, I would say, are not, that is not a. If you want like reliable news, I would say like go to Ground News, because Ground News will like tell you like the difference between like all the they'll take like a single story and they'll compare on like how all the medias are reporting on it, the right-wing medias and the left-wing medias, and they'll basically compare it, and they will and they'll basically tell you which is like the least biased when they're covering the story. That's what I will say about it personally. So I hope you get my point on that, Emily. I'm not trying to argue with you. What I'm just saying is like those papers are pretty biased. Wait, I joined a wrong one. Lewis, can you invite me again? I'm sorry. Let me. Ground News, thanks. No problem. What I will say though is like the one thing do you know what the Lewis, can you invite me again here? I will tell you guys something. Is literally I have watched like hours of CNN and hours of Fox News. And honestly, when I watch both of those networks, because like I don't want to watch those networks anymore, I honestly don't. But like I've watched like hours of both of those. Like when I used to work out at the gym, I would just like scroll through different channels at the gym, and I would just like have it playing, and I would just like be listening to like, you know, both stations. I'd be listening to like one channel I'd watch like one day for like an hour, and the next channel I'd watch for like a day for an hour. And honestly, both of those, CNN and Fox, it's like both different poisons, really, when you think about it. But what I will tell you is about both of those, you know, major news outlets, both CNN and Fox. There is one big difference between CNN and Fox. And I'm not talking about their political bias. I'm talking about how they cover things. The difference is CNN is, you know, left-wing bias. Fox News is right-wing bias. But the similarity, the difference between the two networks, the difference between them, is that Fox News, if you go on Fox News and you listen to most of the hosts on Fox News, most of the hosts on Fox News admit they're biased. They admit it. So, like, they say on Fox, they're like, you know, we're conservative, we're right-wing, we're Republicans, we're biased. Like, they don't hide that. They don't pretend like, oh, we're neutral, we're center, we don't have an opinion. However, though, CNN, on the other hand, if you watch CNN, they are very left-wing in their reporting, just as right-wing Fox is. But the difference is that if you actually question CNN on this, like if you question the reporters on CNN and you tell them, like, you know, you have a left-wing bias, the host on CNN will say, no, we're not biased, we're neutral, we cover the stories very fairly, we're center, we don't take positions. It's like, no. It's like, you are very left-wing biased. I've watched hours of both networks, so that's really the only difference between CNN and Fox, is that at least Fox admits to their bias, where CNN doesn't admit to the bias. CNN just basically pretends like it's not there. They pretend like they're completely neutral in that. What about TYT? You're talking about the Young Turks, very left-wing. The same with MSNBC. MSNBC, I actually can't speak on MSNBC because I haven't watched much of MSNBC. I haven't watched it much. I've watched a lot of CNN and I've watched a lot of Fox, so I can only speak on those two. But I don't, yeah, but honestly, it's like, the best thing is just don't watch either of them. Don't watch Fox or CNN. If you have to watch CNN and Fox, watch both networks. That's what I would say. Just watch both of them and watch how both of them cover the exact same story. That's what I was saying. Because if you watch one too much, then that's just, you know, you're just falling for the bias at that point. I would say it's probably better to watch a bit of both. Thoughts on local news outlets? Local news outlets are actually the most fair and balanced news networks. They are. I watch my local news outlet, you know, in my town, like, you know, usually every day, and when they report the news, there's virtually no bias in there. Nothing. Like, there's none of that, you know, political commentary, none of that. They just basically report on, you know, what's going on, and that's it. They stay away from the political side of everything. But that's enough of me talking about that. I really don't like getting involved in the whole political drama crap. But that's basically it. That's the only thing I'll say about that. You heard about a son behead his father on video? What? No, I have not heard of that. That's horrible. Sleep Punch Man. When did this happen? I don't want to do my heist today. I've been doing it too much, so I want to take a break. But you can help me with my MC business if you like. Okay, yeah, we can do that. And Caliber, I will be helping 3 businesses each. So I'll help each person with 3 businesses. That's what I'll be doing. Forellis, Sindacos, or Leonis, who's the worst? Probably the Forellis. They've probably done the most amount of damage. It still pains me that Minecraft Story Mode, Season 1 and 2 sold poorly since it was all underrated Telltale games. Sucks it basically abandonware now. You know, the thing about that is, I was considering making a video on this company that, like, I considered to be to scam their customers. Does anybody here in the chat know this game called Empire of Sin? Does anybody here know that? If you know, please, like, leave a comment in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. There is this game called Empire of Sin. Now, when Empire of Sin was coming out, I was really excited for the game. I was really, really looking forward to the game. And the reason I was really looking forward to the game is because Empire of Sin is basically a game that takes place in Chicago in the 1920s during Prohibition. And you choose the Mafia family that you want to control. It's a strategy game. It's on PlayStation, by the way, so you can buy it on PlayStation and Xbox, and it's on PC, I believe, too. So you choose the Mafia family that you want to control, and all the Mafia families in that game, for the most part, a huge amount of them are real factions. Some of them are fictional, but a lot of them are real factions. Like the Chicago Outfit is a real faction. The Northside Gang is a real faction. Anyways, about this game is I feel like the developer scammed the people who bought that game. I bought the game. I feel scammed. And the reason for that is because the game came out in 2019 or 2020. It came out like years ago. So nearly like 4 years ago. I purchased it the first day it came out. And I purchased the deluxe edition of the game. And I beat the game a few times. I beat the game as a few different gangsters. So basically, the purpose of the game is each gangster has their own story. The story isn't that good, but each gangster has their own story. You kind of follow that story, and as you progress through like the main quest, you basically take out the other families. And the goal of the game is to basically completely control Chicago, and it's to you win the game by either eliminating all the other families or driving the families out. So you can actually resolve it peacefully. You can basically pay off another family to leave. You can buy their operations, so that eliminates them also. And so the goal of the game is basically wipe out all the other families and you completely control Chicago. And at that point, you basically get the credits and you win the game. Now, the reason I feel this developer scammed the people who bought the game is because I bought the season pass for the game. I think the season pass was like over $20. And the season pass was supposed to release 2 major DLC expansions. The game only released 1 DLC expansion, only 1. That's it. It did not release its second DLC expansion. And it's been 3 years since this first DLC expansion has been released. And they have not released the second DLC expansion, and the ridiculous thing is, when you go and you look up Empire of Sin, that season pass is still there. So you can actually buy the season pass, and there is no second expansion. It's not coming out. There has been no word on it. The developer has been completely silent. They have completely abandoned the game. So that was it. So let me actually show you guys this. I will show you guys this if I can actually find it in the if I can find the game here. There it is. So this is the game I was talking about right here. So it looks like it's PS4 only. It's not PS5. But I purchased this game. You know, I have 56 hours played in this game. I have the vast majority of trophies. Oh, my friend Ronan plays this game. So Ronan, if you're actually watching the channel right now, you'll know what I'm talking about. But look, this right here. I felt scammed by this developer. Look, the expansion pass came out on December 1st, 2020. And read the description. Empire of Sin expansion pass gives access to 2 post-launch expansions. 2 post-launch expansions. And look at this. This does not count, by the way, because this came out with the game. This was the deluxe edition, deluxe pack. That's pretty much what it was. And the deluxe pack, it just gave you 4 unique recruits. So this does not count as one of the expansions. But this was the first DLC expansion, and it was released nearly a year later after the game came out. You know, this is the Make It Count, you know, expansion that was released. And so they never released the second DLC for this. I'm considering making a YouTube video about this on my channel, ranting about this game. So I've been waiting for that DLC expansion to come out for years, and they don't release it. And, you know, why the hell are you still selling a season pass for your game if you're not going to release the second DLC expansion? That's basically scamming people. Like, if you're literally releasing a season pass, like an expansion pass here, and you're promising 2 post-launch expansions, that's 2 post-launch expansions, and you are not releasing the second expansion, that's, you know, pretty much a scam at that point. I could feel that you're basically getting scammed. I don't know why Sony doesn't take it off the PlayStation Store. They should remove that expansion off the PlayStation Store, that season pass, because that is not fair to the consumers, not fair to the people who have purchased that. That's ridiculous, and the developer should have to answer for that. That's ridiculous. Let me see here. I was wondering, what PC you recommend for editing and streaming around 1,000? Thank you. I can tell you, thank you, Austin, for the super chat. I can tell you what my, my laptop is called. Hang on a second. Because I purchased my gaming laptop. I purchased it from Best Buy. I spent over $1,000, I think, on it. This was like years ago. My gaming laptop is great for editing videos and stuff like that. Right now I'm on my gaming computer, my desktop. But, purchases. Let me tell you what the Let me tell you what the laptop is called. One second, I haven't logged into my Best Buy account in like a year, so I just have to change my password really quick. Just give me one moment, and I'll answer your question, and I'll give you a link too. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, I'm back in my account. Let me see here. Okay, okay, the laptop that I had purchased, was it here?
It's sale day. Okay, we're throwing this
Does Best
stuff
Buy still
out with
sell
the
it? Let me
trash.
look for you. Tell you
Pick up
what
the
gaming
products
laptop I
and get
have
to the
here.
drops.
This gaming laptop, I purchased it for $1,150, but this was like, 2 years ago, so the laptop might actually be, less now. Best Buy doesn't sell it anymore. Let me see if I can find a, Okay, yeah, I found it. It's on Walmart. Walmart is selling it for $1,120. I hope that's okay. You said you were looking for something over around 1,000. Let me put the link in the chat here. I put the link in the chat. That is the link to the gaming laptop. That is the gaming laptop that so when I visit my family in New York and I stream, that is the gaming laptop I stream on. I played Manhunt on that laptop also. I played a bunch of PC games I played on that laptop, which I recorded for it. It's a great laptop for editing too. Okay, let me see here. I missed a bunch of comments. Thank you, Austin, and thank you, PlayStation Fanboy. How do I join a GTA lobby? I'm a little confused. Oh, well, if you have me added PlayStation Fanboy, all you need to do is just hit join session on me. I'm appearing online, just hit join session. That's all you need to do. That's it. It still pains me that Minecraft story mode, yeah, and that's what I was saying about games, like, being abandoned, like, that, I don't want to do a heist today. I've been doing it so much, so I want to take a break, but can you help me with my MC business? I can help you, Nikki, no problem, man. What's your opinion on treaties? Well, what do you mean? The thing about, the thing about treaties is all a treaty basically is it's just a piece of paper that you have like an agreement on. That's really what it is. And is like, if you look at history, so many treaties have been broken. Like, if you just look at, for example, the United States, there were so many treaties that the U.S. government just had with like Native American tribes, and they basically violated the vast majority of those. So like the treaties throughout history have just been violated so many times. You didn't join Lewis. It was my mistake, Christine. I'm sorry. It was the XCOM style Mafia game, yes. Wait, you bought that game too, Robbie? Robbie Pezos. You bought Empire of Sin, you bought the expansion pack too, you just wrote you got scammed too. Bro, I thought you didn't do a live on Friday because of those scums in your bully stream. As law enforcement guy, what do you think of the Good Samaritan law? Well, I'm not a law enforcement guy. I went to college for that. You know, I got a bachelor's degree in law enforcement technology, but I haven't been in law enforcement. That's why I know a lot about the laws in Ace Attorney. When I talk with the court, that's mostly my college education comes from that. Basically, what the Good Samaritan law. I know what you're talking about. The Good Samaritan laws, they differ by states. Is some states, let me see here. Let me see what states actually have Good Samaritan laws. Let's see here. Because I know not every state has it. Okay, it's it looks like roughly half the states in America have Good Samaritan laws and half the states don't. Okay. The Good Samaritan laws would basically Good Samaritan laws differ by each states. So it really depends on the state that you're in. Has anybody ever seen Seinfeld? On Seinfeld, I remember they had like an episode on Good Samaritan laws. It's like an older show, but there was like one episode where they took like a plane, they flew somewhere, I don't remember what state it was, and they witnessed like a crime, and they witnessed somebody getting robbed, and they did nothing about it, and then they got in trouble for that, and they basically broke the Good Samaritan laws. Now, what a Good Samaritan law is, a lot of people have, they don't fully understand it. They think that a Good Samaritan law requires you to physically intervene, but that's not true. That's not what a Good Samaritan law is. Good Samaritan laws basically is that if you are in a place and you see a crime taking place, you see somebody being the victim of a crime, you're supposed to do something about it. Now, what you do about it, it really depends. Good Samaritan laws don't require you to actually use force and actually go up to the person and save them from somebody that's like robbing them. However, though, Good Samaritan laws require you to at least a minimum call the police. If you see, for example, if you see somebody getting robbed in like a state that has a Good Samaritan law and you do nothing about it, you just stand there, and like the worst thing that somebody can do is they take out their phone and film. That's like the worst thing they can do. I mean, that can be used by the police as evidence for like how the perpetrator looked. But most of the time when people take out their phones, they don't like record stuff to like get evidence. They just record stuff just because they think it's interesting what's happening. So basically, if one of those idiots are in like a Good Samaritan state and they see somebody getting robbed and they take out their phone and they start filming it and they do absolutely nothing about it, they don't call the police, they make no attempt to like get help. If they do something like that, they're going to get in trouble. They're going to get arrested for basically breaking the Good Samaritan laws. Generally, I think that Good Samaritan laws are a good thing. I do think they are because is that if you see somebody like getting robbed, why would you not call the police? Why would you not do that if you see somebody getting robbed? The only time I could see it where it would be wrong to call the police is if you're in fear of your life. If you're like in the middle of a bank robbery, for example, and like the guy has like you as a hostage, then you can't really do anything. If like the bank robber is like beating up other people in the bank, you can't do anything about that because you're a hostage too. So that's the only time I could see not calling the police is if you're in fear of your safety also. But if you are not in any danger and you see somebody being the victim of a crime, I don't see why you wouldn't call the police. Like only a scumbag would do nothing in that situation. I'm not saying they actually go physically beat the robber up, but you should at minimum is go and call the police. That's what you should do. If you don't do that, you're an idiot. And I'll tell you this, is that in New York, in my state, in New York State, this is out of control, where I grew up, because I'll tell you how New Yorkers think, how a lot of New Yorkers think, is that there's a lot of times you see YouTube videos where like somebody gets jumped on the subway, for example, and like nobody does anything about that, and like people are just staring there and staring, and like I see the comments, like people are basically saying like, why are New Yorkers not doing anything about it? The reason New Yorkers don't do anything about it is because New Yorkers' common attitude, how a lot of New Yorkers think, I grew up in New York City, so like how a lot of New Yorkers basically think is they think, oh, I'm not responsible for that, somebody else will call the police, I don't have to do that, somebody else will do that, and everybody basically just thinking like that, and because of that, nobody ends up calling the police, and the guy gets away. By the time somebody finally does decide to call the police, the robber is like long gone. He's been gone for like half an hour at that point. So that's basically my opinion on like Good Samaritan laws. I think that generally they are a good thing. I don't think there should be laws requiring people to physically like interfere. But I think that if you are in a safe position and you have the option to call the police and you do nothing about it, then I think that you should be punished for that. Because you're just an idiot. You're standing there, you're watching a crime taking place, and you're not doing anything to help. You know, that's basically what I think about that. Thank you, Zombie, for the super chat. I see Spider-Man on that homepage. Absolute gem. No, thank you, Blinded Eagle. Want to know what's weird? Document products also can be in 3 or 4 post-op vans. GTA Logic. 4 post-op vans? I've never heard of 4 post-op vans. I've never heard of that. Nikki, that's interesting, though. Thank you for the super chat. The Steam page for Empire of Sin has another page for the DLC, including Expansion 2 still unreleased, while Scummy Developers released. So wait, so on Steam, you can actually, let me look it up on Steam right now. I'm Steam open. Let me see, Empire of Sin. Let me see, Empire of Sin. Oh, you're right. So Empire of Sin has. And they're selling the premium edition. What is the premium edition? What is that? What is the premium edition of this game? The premium edition gives you the expansion pack, the expansion pass, and it doesn't even give you all the DLCs for it. Wow, what a scummy developer. Wow, this is just ridiculous. The thing is, though, if the developer doesn't want to develop the game anymore, they should just refund everybody who bought that expansion pass, because that is ridiculous. That is that, and you're right. They're selling the expansion pass too. Like that's that. I'm gonna make a video on this game. This game is this is ridiculous. I feel scammed by that developer. That's how can you release a season pass and you never even release the DLC for the season pass like years later? You only release you promised 2 expansion packs. You only released 1. It's been 3 years since the last DLC has been released. Where the hell is it? How many years do people have to wait for this DLC? The Steam page for Empire of Sin. Oh, okay, Bunny. Yeah, I just read that one.
So I guess we have a sale.
Chess Collega, thank you, Agent Reaper. I know what that means. Hello, friend. There's this game called Empire of Sin. Okay, so, let me show people hear it. Hold on a second. So for people that don't know what I'm talking about, I was talking about this earlier. So there's this game, Empire of Sin. This game came out. Is there a way for me to see when this game came out? View product release date. Look at that, 12/01. 2020. So this game came out, you know, three years ago. 3 years and 3 years and 2 months ago is when this game came out. So scratch that what I was saying about 4 years. They're basically waiting for the expansion for, for 3 years at this point. But basically, this is a game, it's a strategy game. You know, basically think of XCOM, but think of gangsters. That's basically what this is. This game takes place in the 1920s, and this game actually is not a bad game. It does have some problems, but like I played the game, it's actually not that bad of a game. You do deals with different mobsters, corrupt politicians, corrupt police, and the goal of the game is to basically take over Chicago. And this is the combat system is this is, and they have the guns in this time period are also historically accurate. So a lot of the guns they have are guns that did exist back then. But anyways, what I'm getting at is this game released the expansion pass, and let me see how much the expansion pass is on Steam right now. How much is the expansion pass on Steam? Let me see here. Empire of Sin Deluxe Edition, Expansion 2, hold on 1 second here. Empire of Sin, but yeah, they are basically releasing a season pass, and in that season pass, the expansion pass is $25. And it's on sale. It's on sale, 17% off on Steam right now. So that $25 is on sale. And this expansion pass, so let me know if you guys think this is a scam. Look, I want to ask the chat if you agree with me that this is also a scam, what you think. But look, Empire of Sin expansion pass gives access to 2 post-launch expansions. Look at that. And this does not count as the second expansion pack. This is deluxe edition content, including 4 unique recruitable gangsters, golden weapon set, and unique animation for your boss. This is not an expansion pack. This is just, a few guns and characters. This is the expansion pass. First major expansion pass of Empire of Sin. So this was the only expansion they released. They never released, expansion pack 2. They never did. So they are basically selling a season pass, this season pass here, promising, look, 2 post-launch expansions, and they only give you 1, expansion here. Do you guys think that's a scam? And look at when the last expansion came out. The first expansion came out on November 18, 2021. So that came out nearly 2.5 years ago. That's when that came out. Yeah, that's basically when it came out, 2.5 years ago. And this November 18, it will be basically 3 years. So 2.5 years ago, we've been waiting 2.5 years for this second expansion, and it's not here. So I think I'm going to make a YouTube video complaining about this, because I have played this game a lot. I want to get a platinum in this game. I have 39 and 51 trophies. I got to talk to my friend Ronan about this, because Ronan also plays this game. I didn't know he played the game, but I have to talk to him about it and ask him what he thinks. But I have 56 hours in this game. I played it. It's actually a fun game. Maybe I'll do a playthrough of it one day. It's not a very long game. It's not a bad game, like I said. The game itself is not a bad game, like the gameplay and stuff like that. It's not that bad. But what the thing about this is that the really scummy thing about this is the developer basically sells you a season pass, and they do not give you the second DLC expansion. And if you actually go on Google, and you type in Empire of Sin, DLC expansion 2, you'll see tons of like Reddit posts and like Steam posts of just people ranting about this and like saying, where is the the next expansion? And the developer has been silent about this. The developer has not been answering anything about this, and that is so scummy. And the reason the developer did not develop the second expansion is because this game did not get the sales that they wanted. This game was a flop. This game did not get the sales that they wanted. They were expecting higher sales than normal, and they didn't. Because of that, they probably did not bother making the second expansion. However, though, it doesn't matter what the sales of the game are, is that you basically selling an expansion pack. Even if this game sold, only 100 copies, you are selling an expansion pack with 2 post-launch expansions, and that is still on the PlayStation Store. You can still purchase that. You are promising 2 post-launch expansions. People are paying you. They're paying for this. This is false advertising is what this is. And you only release just 1 expansion pack. Where the hell is the other expansion pack? Where is it? Where is it? So that's what I'll say about it. I might do a video on the whole Empire of Sin disaster, but that's just something that just personally pissed me off about that, because I actually did like that game. I did enjoy it, and it just annoyed me that you're selling a season pass and you're not even releasing the all the DLCs for it.
Jesus,
what a pity. Chicago is my hometown. I may have liked Empire City. I've actually been to Chicago a bunch of times. I've taken the subway around Chicago a few times.
I don't give a fuck.
Hi.
Let's get out. Let's do business again.
Wait, what are you talking about? Blade of Stars, manipulate the fabric of reality, demonstrate the ability to create objects, Nilo, erase memories or events, rewrite souls, and destroy them. Wait, what are you talking about? Not a scam, to be honest. Well, why don't you think it's a scam? I mean, you could argue it's false advertising, because pauper is a slight term for poor. I know it's a term they used back then. They don't really use that much anymore.
What the hell?
The game actually is not that bad, Snake. It's not a bad game, but it's the, do you know what I find weird about the subways in Chicago? What I find weird about them is that in Chicago, the subways, they go through the highways. So, like, right in the middle of the highway in, like, downtown, is you'll have the trains that's, like, right there. I haven't seen something like that before. The city that I'm from, New York, we don't have trains in the middle of the highways. We don't have that. We have, like, trains that, like, go underground, and then we have, like, the higher ones, the ones that go above. That one's kind of more similar. But we don't have something like that where it's, and Manhattan doesn't really have that many above ground like trains. It does have some. Brooklyn and Queens have more of that. So that's what I found about the trains in Chicago. But I will say a good thing about the trains in Chicago. I will say a good thing about them is that I bought like an all-day pass for $5 where I could just ride the train as much as I want in Chicago. And when I was waiting at the platform, and I was only there for one day, but even though I rode the train probably like 6 or 7 times that day. And even though I rode the train to get around, it was easy to get around downtown with the train. The trains were always on time in Chicago. They were always on time. Where in New York, the trains are not always on time. A lot of times there's delays. So that's what I'll say is I'll compliment that in Chicago, is that I had no problem with the trains in Chicago. I thought they functioned better than New York's trains, honestly. Let me see here. Thank you, Shark Dude Rock. Thank you for the super chat. Chicagoans don't like underground. Well, I guess that makes them different from New Yorkers. Do you know what Pegorino's offering was when he met the Pavanos? Probably some jewelry, or probably like a lot of money. That's probably what it was. Okay. You said they have shops and underground tunnels in Chicago. What's that about? Oh, you're talking about the little underground city in Chicago. I don't know what that's called, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but Chicago basically has these underground streets that you can go on. I just forget what they're called, but basically they're like streets that you can just drive underneath the city with. They're like regular streets, they have traffic lights, but they're just underground. And there are stores down there. Like, there are stores, there are malls down there, so a lot of it is underground. Japan has bullet trains and has barriers to prevent people from being pushed on the tracks. Honestly, I think that should be installed in every city in America. Those barriers, because as somebody that was from New York, if I ever had to take the subway, I would always stay away from the tracks. I would be as close to the wall as possible because people will push you on the tracks. It's happened to a lot of people in the past. That was an RP post for Discord. Sorry, I forgot to copy and paste it. It's okay, man. The Leonis shouldn't be mad at Claude for killing Salvatore. They should be mad at Maria because she caused the chain of events. She's really an idiot. Yeah? But Salvatore's paranoia is not helping with that situation either, though. Thank you, Blinded Eagle. Okay, here we go. Okay, 4.5 miles. Which Sopranos actors are in GTA 4? Oh, hang on a second. The Sopranos actors, the guy who plays as Ralph, I know is in that. Oh, that's my mom. She's visiting me right now. She's just in another room. She's fine, Harpenhurst. But she just has, has bad allergies at times, and she does have a bad cough at times. She's getting better. It's not like dangerous. It's to do with her allergies, but it's usually, or especially around this time in winter, it tends to happen a bit. Okay. Yeah, my mom is visiting me for a week. No, my mom never actually smoked. My dad smoked, but my mom never smoked. The guy who plays Eugene also plays as Anthony and Rosalie's voice actresses, Pecorino's wife. The guy who plays Eugene also plays as Anthony. Oh, Eugene, in Sopranos. And Rosalie's actor voices Pecorino's wife. Oh, okay. Okay, 2.9 here. They have barriers in London as well. In our new Crossrail station, some trains arrive 5 minutes early here as well, and I can't imagine how I would handle New York City trains. Well, thank you, Zombie Fanatic. Yeah. The unfortunate thing about New York City trains, what I'll say about them, is that a lot of tourists, when they come to New York, one of the first things they want to do is ride the subway, and that's like their first impression of New York is when they see those subway stations. They can be really dirty. They can see rats, and the trains aren't going to arrive on time. It leaves a bad impression. I love that Medal of Honor game. Thank you, man. She likes it, but she doesn't like the cold, DJ Fifth Light. Can I do top 10 Saints Row antagonists? Possibly. You could do that. Thoughts on castle doctrine laws? You mean the right to defend yourself in your home? Is that what you're talking about? That's what basically castle doctrine law is. I think that's a good thing. I think if you are in your home, I think you have the right to defend yourself. If somebody's breaking into your house, I think you have the right to defend your life, your family's lives, and your property. Oh, I'll take a look at him with a blinded eagle. Ever driven a Ford LTD Crown Victoria? No, I haven't. What in the Tide Nation is he wearing? White suit, black button shirt, and white fedora. There's a house in GTA that's based on the Manson family. I know about that. Yeah, I know about that. Well, we could actually go and check out the house right now. The Easter egg works in GTA Online as well. YouTube's UTTP stands for YouTube Troll Police, which is ironic as it is. Sounds like the most corrupt cops ever. Ooh. Well, the thing about that is what Castle Doctrine basically is, Harpin, is that you can defend your property. That's basically what it is. If somebody breaks into your house, you can defend your property. However, though, if somebody breaks into your house and you go and you chase them, and after they broke into your house and you hurt them, or possibly worse, kill them after they ran away, that's not really covered by Castle Doctrine at that point, because you've left your castle, which is your home. So that Castle Doctrine is basically, if the intruder is in your home, you have the right to defend yourself. But if the intruder flees and leaves the home and just runs away, then you can't really pursue at that point anymore. You can't really do that. Stand Your Ground is a bit different. Stand Your Ground applies in outside of the home as well. Stand Your Ground can even apply in the street. Basically is that there is no duty to retreat, that you can just defend yourself. If you have an option to retreat, you don't need to take that option. You can just defend yourself. That's the whole idea of Stand Your Ground. The thing is, Stand Your Ground is a very controversial law in America, But there is one misconception about stand your ground that I hear people saying, and the one misconception I hear people say about it is people say that somebody can just kill somebody and just say stand your ground, I was defending myself from them. But with stand your ground is you need to demonstrate an equal level of force also. You know, somebody pushes you, for example, you can't, nobody can shoot them for something like that. And also the police need to do an investigation. They do an investigation, they look into it, and they see, did this person really defend themselves, or is there something more to this? So that's, let's say, it's a bit of a more controversial law. It's, I don't think there's anything really wrong with castle doctrine laws defending your house, your property. Stand your ground can be a bit more controversial. I can see where the complaints are coming from on that. But it's, but, you know, the misconception people have is that the police don't bother investigating stand your ground cases. When they do, they look at it. Even castle doctrine cases, police look into that too. Well, that case, what I'll say about that Harpin is that's an extremely controversial case and a really messed up case. What I personally think is I think the guy was guilty in that because he pursued at that point. Is you know, he chased, and the victim in that case could be arguing that it was self-defense as well. The guy who died could have argued that he was, you know, that if he had survived, he could have made the argument that he was defending himself from him. You know, he was like a self-appointed, like, neighborhood watch. He was like, you know, I remember that was like, yeah, he pursued that guy, and then, and there was really no crime being committed in that case. There was really, before the assault, before the attack I'm talking about, there was really no crime being committed. And yet that self-appointed, like, neighborhood watch guy, you know, took it upon himself to follow that guy, and then that guy, you know, got freaked out by that, didn't know why this guy was following him, attacked him, and it just, the case just ended really tragically. It was just a really bad one. What's your opinion on treaties? Well, I answered your post, your super chat earlier, and is I think that, you know, treaties, when you really think about it, all they are is just something written on a piece of paper where one side is promising, you know, to respect the other side. But history has shown us that, you know, pretty much every single country on this planet violates treaties. You know, there is not, some people violate treaties more than other certain countries have in history, but every country in its history has violated probably at least one treaty. So it was, I think that treaties are a good thing in practice because you try to make peace with somebody, but just because you have a treaty with somebody, that doesn't mean that that person's not going to backstab you, not going to attack you. That's what I'll say about it. So it's always good to build up a very strong defense for your country. To you know, if you have like neighbors that are extremely aggressive, it's important that you probably should have a pretty well-funded military. You ever watch Beyond Straight? I mean, like, Beyond Scared Straight? Like, when they took those kids to the prisons? I did see a few of those episodes when I was a kid, yeah. That psycho boyfriend being killed by the father is a good example of castle doctrine. Yeah, I would say that is probably a perfect example of castle doctrine, is that situation there. The thing about this... Whoa. Okay, yeah, a bit of an accident there. What I was saying about castle doctrine is, force typically requires to be proportional in a lot of cases, but it doesn't always need to be equal. You know, like, I'll give you like a perfect example. If you are on the street, right, and, like, you know, somebody slaps another person in the face, you know, that's assault. You could very much argue that's battery too. But what I will say about that is that doesn't give grounds for somebody to shoot somebody else for something like that. However, though, the situation changes a lot if the person is trying to seriously hurt them. So if the person has, like, a melee weapon, like a bat or a knife or something like that, even though it's not a gun, that can still kill you or seriously injure you. So at that point, in a lot of other states, technically, the person would be justified in firing. It depends on the state and the laws, but it depends on the situation. So, I'm not a complete legal expert on this, but it really depends on the state, the laws, the situation. In regards to that that dad who shot the ex-boyfriend, that was very much justified. I saw the video of it. I think the dad was in the right. And the reason that I think the dad was in the right in that was because, for people that don't know the case that I'm talking about, there was this guy who dated this girl, I think it was in Ohio, and she broke up with him. And then I think it was like 2 or 3 or 4 years later, he just randomly started texting her, like, years later after this. And she didn't respond to his text. So the ex-girlfriend did not respond to the ex-boyfriend's text. And you know what he did? He went to the house where the ex-girlfriend lived. And this was all captured on camera, so you can see everything, the whole thing was on film, the whole thing would happen. And the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, I think, rings the doorbell at first. Nobody answers that. Then do you know what he tries to do? He tries to actually smash the door. He tries to actually bring the door down, like he's forcibly trying to enter the house. The girlfriend starts screaming, and she lives with her parents. She starts screaming. Her dad realizes what's going on. The dad basically gets his handgun out. And the dad basically is yelling at him through the door, "Don't come in here, I have a gun. Don't come in here, I have a gun." Repeatedly, numerous times the dad is saying that. And what is the ex-boyfriend doing? The ex-boyfriend is not stopping. He's still trying to break down the door when there's a guy on the other side of the door that's screaming at you, "I have a gun." The whole thing was on camera. The dad's screaming, "I have a gun. Don't come in here." And he's still trying to break the door down. Do you know what that tells me? If somebody's doing something like that, if somebody's trying to break somebody's door down, they're a criminal already. But if somebody's trying to break somebody's door down, like a rational criminal, a more rational criminal, if they heard somebody say, "I have a gun, don't come in here," they run away. But somebody that's doing something like that, they're breaking down somebody's door, and they hear the person saying, "I have a gun," and they're still doing it, that tells me that person does not have a rational state of mind. That tells me that person is extremely dangerous, has a very dangerous state of mind. That person does not care if that person is screaming that at them. That person just wants to get in the house and do God knows what. So the dad was fully justified. And when he broke down the door, he was like, the door's pretty much breaking down at that point. The dad just opened fire, shot him and killed him. The guy gets shot, he turns around, he basically collapses in the front lawn and died. And the whole thing was on film. If the dad did not have the video, there's a very strong chance the prosecutor might have charged the dad. The dad did not have that video, saved that dad. Because if he did not have that video, he could have been in serious trouble for that. But yeah, that's what people don't understand, is that the thing is, when I was reading the comments on that video, the comments on it, people were saying in the comment section, "Oh, the guy didn't have a gun, he didn't have a weapon, he was just trying to break the door down." What they don't understand is that the dad was an older guy, he was an older guy, and the daughter was in the home. This guy could have easily gotten in the house, overpowered the dad, killed him, and started with the girlfriend. That could have easily happened. So this guy did not have the right state of mind. He was aggressive. He was coming for the door. The dad tried to warn him several times. So think about that. Is that a normal person that's going to do something like that? That they're going to be trying to break down the door even after somebody says that to them, that they have a gun, and he's still trying to break down the door? I think the dad was pretty much justified in shooting him at that point. I think that was clear self-defense. I think that was Castle Doctor who was defending his, daughter. He was defending his home, and the guy wouldn't stop. He gave the guy warnings numerous times. He didn't just shoot. He gave the guy warnings, told him, "Don't come in here, run," and the guy still tries to break down the door. So I personally feel like it was justified, safe self-defense. It's not comparable to that other situation. That the person asked me about, that case that happened many years ago, because that case was different. That guy was like a self-appointed neighborhood watch. He followed that other guy, which that other guy was not breaking any laws. He just followed him. And the other guy was getting scared that this guy was following him and attacked him. And that guy could have been fearing for his life. He could have attacked him because there was some creepy guy just following him. So he could have argued that it was self-defense too. So that was not, so that guy that shot him years ago, that situation, the guy was found not guilty. I think that guy was guilty. That situation that happened a decade ago. I don't really want to, talk about it because it was extremely controversial. The whole thing that happened was a very controversial case. But I think the guy who shot him, that self-appointed neighborhood watch, I think he was guilty. I think that I think the jury made a mistake in that, because like I said, he followed the guy, and the guy wasn't breaking any laws. He followed the guy got scared and attacked him. That's very different than like somebody like coming into your house and like, you know, trying to break down your door and, you know, telling him you have a gun. So, you know, that guy from like a decade ago, I think he's very much guilty. The dad in Ohio, I don't think he's guilty at all. I think that was self-defense. But if anybody wants to know the video that I'm talking about, you can just look up a video on YouTube. You know, you just look up like, you know, Ohio dad, you know, defends his daughter, and it'll come up. But the video is brutal. I just have to warn you on that. It's a pretty bad movie. So, but you can clearly see what happened. The video is called Father's Ex. Father steps in when his daughter's ex tries to storm their home. Yeah. Pierston, I'm not gonna do a heist yet. Let me just help a few more sales, and then I'll help you with your heist. Let me see here.
Oh my God. Oh my God, no.
Have you ever heard of Emperor Tomb's game? No, I haven't. What is that, Shocky? Thank you for the super chat. Oh, and basically, what I will say about that ex-boyfriend that got shot by the dad when he was breaking in, that ex-boyfriend, I will tell you, has severe mental issues, severe, because when the family of the ex-boyfriend was like saying, you know, our son was like a good kid, like, I get the parents are upset. That was their son. I get that to a degree. But when you watch the video, what you see there, that is not a good kid from what you see in that video. It's a guy who's really trying to break down the door when the dad is telling him to stop. What I personally think, my theory on the whole thing, I think that ex-boyfriend, I think, was obsessed with her. I think he was to the point where he was stalking her. Because think about it, he randomly contacted his girlfriend like 3 years later after they broke up. And she ignored him, and he proceeded to go to the house and, like, try to break down the door. I think that in the back of his mind, he was probably thinking about his ex-girlfriend. For those 3 years, he was probably obsessed with her. He was obsessed with her and pissed off about the fact that she left him. So the fact that 3 years later, he would still be thinking about that, that shows that he has massive issues, and he has no self-control. So that's what I say. So it's unfortunate that somebody died. It's tragic that somebody died. But the dad, in my opinion, I think was fully justified in defending himself. I don't think that I don't think the ex-boyfriend was the innocent victim in this situation. Emperor's Tomb was an Indiana Jones game. Oh, I haven't heard of it. Invite me to the business here. What people don't understand is that stalkers are some of the most dangerous people out there because they obsess over their victim. They are obsessed with their victim. And if a victim reacts very negatively to a stalker, it's somebody that the stalker is obsessed with, the stalker may really act extremely violently because they're really pissed that the person that they are obsessed with is rejecting them. Here. Can we please change topics? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you, Blade of Stars. I was just, you know, somebody's asked me about like, you know, what I thought about, and asked me about that case, and I started talking about it. So sorry about that. The only thing I'll just say to end this subject is, you know, the dad, you know, shooting that guy, I think it was justified. I think it was self-defense. But the incident that happened, like, you know, a decade ago, that case, I'll mention the name, the Zimmerman guy. I think he's guilty, and I think he's responsible for that death, and I think he should have been charged. He should have been prosecuted, I should say. sorry about bringing it up. No, it's fine. Let's see here. I'll do a playthrough of LA Noire one day, but the thing is, when I play LA Noire, I'm gonna cringe when I play that game because there are certain parts of it that are very unrealistic police procedure. Manhunt 2 will be playing tomorrow. We'll have the first part of Ace Attorney tonight. I missed Blinded Super Chat. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me look.
You motherfucker!
Where's Blinded Super Chat? Maybe I'll have to, Blinded shoot Super Chat. But what's crazy is we're getting college football games from EA before we get GTA 6. I have no idea if that means humanity's peaking off or if it's sad. I have, you know, the thing is, though, is I don't mean to insult anybody that likes those games, but I haven't ever heard of anybody saying that they like the college football games, because it's like, I've heard people play the, NFL games, but I haven't ever heard of anybody saying they play, like, college football games. Quiz question, where were the only places the Japanese took over U.S. soil in World War II? Well, there is a few answers to that question. If you're talking about in the Pacific, the Japanese took over Wake Island, which was a U.S. territory. They took over Guam, which was a U.S. territory. Did the Japanese occupy the American Samoa? I would have to look that up if they did. They attempted to take over Midway Island, which was that was a U.S. territory. They failed in that. They took over. They took over the Aleutian Islands, which is the closest they've got to mainland America, which is, you know, islands off the coast of Alaska. Teenage Kraken yet? It's a DreamWorks movie on Peacock. It's leaving today. No, I haven't watched it. They took over the Philippines. Well, the Philippines were not a U.S. territory. That's what I would say about it. The Philippines were the Philippines were more, I would say, like a protectorate of the U.S. It was more like, it was kind of like a country. It didn't have its own. It had its own leaders, but it technically was not part of the U.S. It was more like a puppet. That's what I would say about the Philippines. Is the Philippines were more like a puppet of the U.S. That's what I would put it. It's not like a direct American territory like Wake Island. The government of the Philippines is more like a puppet government of the U.S. That's what I would use to describe it more. I'm not trying to sound weird, but I love your voice. That's fine, man. Is it true that entrapment means you were forced to commit a crime? Well, entrapment is more like encouraging somebody to commit a crime. That's what it is. Like, I'll give you like a perfect example of what entrapment would be. Like, entrapment would be like if an undercover cop pretended to be like a drug dealer, and like the undercover cop like started harassing some guy, and said to the guy like, oh, hey, you wanna buy weed? You wanna buy it? It's really good. It's good. And the person says, no, I don't want to, and he just keeps pushing him, saying, oh, you wanna buy it? And he eventually says, okay, fine, I'll buy it, and then he gets arrested for that. That is pretty much entrapment at that point. You're basically pushing somebody to basically break the law. In 1945, a Japanese balloon killed 6 people in Oregon. Yeah, I know. The Japanese sent thousands of those balloons, but only one of them actually got through and killed somebody. I watched some of the Indiana Jones movies when I was a kid that I watched. How long will I be streaming tonight? Help with 1 or 2 more businesses, and then I'll help Pierce with his heist. The Battle of Los Angeles in World War II? Wait, what are you talking about? What does your mom think of your work? My parents are proud of my, my success on YouTube. What do you think of North Korea having a soccer team? North Korea, yeah, North Korea has a soccer team, but it's so weird how when North Korea, when they, they claim that they won the World Cup, like they claim to their people that they won. The thing about North Korea is that, I remember one of the FIFA games, like one of the FIFA World Cup games, you can actually play as North Korea and win the World Cup. So, like, they're actually a playable faction in that game. How many Russian soldiers died in World War II? Millions. The Soviet Union had the highest casualties of military casualties of any country during World War II. What happened to the tramp after Manhunt? I'm not sure. Republic of Panau moment, North Korea soccer team. Well, Panau is kind of like a parody of North Korea in Just Cause 2. Thank you, Mr. Wakeman. Thank you, Fernando. This stream is sponsored by Sheep Tacos, ending World Hunger since 2021. Also sponsored by DHC Network, combining gaming and Donkadonk into one channel. Thank you, Fernando. Would you consider yourself socially awkward? Well, I don't know what socially awkward means, but I'll tell you though that in public I'm not really that social. I don't have the best of interactions with people in public. I'm a bit shy and I don't really like interacting with people that much in public. I'm much more open online. I like talking to people online, but in public I'm not really that, I would say, open to talking to people. Forcing someone to commit a crime and asking people if they want to buy drugs should be called different crimes. Whoever doesn't want to buy drugs will not buy drugs. Well, look, what I'll tell you, Viking, is there was a case that happened. I don't remember when this happened, but there was this girl who was an undercover cop and was talking to this guy, and she was telling him, like, can you buy me weed? And the guy basically says he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do that. And she just kept pushing him, says, please, please, can you get it for me? Can you please get it for me? Please get it for me. And he ended up buying it for her, and he got arrested. That, I would say, is entrapment. That is. And I would say that that girl who was that undercover cop, she was a scumbag. That's what I would say about it, is like, somebody that clearly doesn't want to do it, and you keep pushing them, and he thinks he's doing you a favor by doing it, and he does, and he gets arrested for it. I think that is, I think that is pretty much entrapment at that point. Is it possible to sue for entrapment? Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. You can sue the police really for anything. There's numerous things you can sue the police for. I mean, you can sue the police for violating your Second Amendment rights. You can sue the police for violating your First Amendment rights. You can sue the police for violating your Fourth Amendment rights. You can sue the police for police brutality. You can sue the police for like not letting you film when you're allowed to film in public. Like there is just so many different things that you could sue the police for. So like if the police are doing something wrong that basically violates your rights, you can sue them for that. So like there's really an endless list of things that you can really sue the police for. Did she put a gun into his face? If she did, was ask and persuade. It was not forcing. It is entrapment. And the reason it's entrapment is because he didn't want to buy weed. He didn't want to do that. But she kept pushing him. She kept saying, oh, please buy it for me. Please buy it for me. Now, he wasn't forced to buy it, but she was very pushy. And the thing about this is you can make the argument in court that that guy would have never bought weed in the first place if she didn't push him to it. so he would have never done it in the first place. So you have a guy who would have never bought weed in the first place, but because this girl was basically going undercover and talking to this guy and pushing this guy to basically buy weed for her, and he ended up doing it and get arrested for it, that is entrapment. You can make the argument he was never going to do that in the first place, but because she was constantly kept pushing him and pressuring him, he ended up doing it. So basically, if an undercover cop that basically pushed somebody into committing a crime, that was what I would say is entrapment. Do you play Danganronpa? No, I don't, but people told me if I like Ace Attorney, I have to play that game. Lenora Johnson case in GTA is based on the Black Dahlia case. Oh, that one, that the murders that happened in Los Angeles. Yes, that happened in like the 50s, didn't it? It was like a long time ago when that happened. Thank you, Harvey, for the super chat. Why do your viewers ask out of the blue US questions? Kind of weird. This is my second time in your live stream, and they were the same. Just curious. I guess it's because people want to like hear my opinion on stuff like that. They want to hear my views on stuff, and like I'm pretty open on like my my opinion on things, and I'll answer stuff and explain stuff. The only question I will really answer any questions that people ask me. There's only two types of questions that I will never answer, and those two types of questions that I will never answer is I'll never answer like a really stupid question. Like if somebody's asking me something really, really stupid that's like meant to get a rise out of me, I'm not going to answer that. Or if it's like a political question, then I'm not going to really answer it. But if it's anything else like law, police, history, whatever it is, I'll answer it. Thank you, Spicy Robin. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Only Ekad the Rebellious. What updates would I like to see come to GTA 5 for it's likely last year before GTA 6 releases? I'm actually going to make a video on that. And Pneumatic, basically talk about the things that GTA Online needs to add before it ends. Thank you. And thank you, Aussie Guy. Thank you, man, too. Okay, Marcus, this will be the last business I help you with, and then I'll help Pearson with his heist. And Pearson, let's just do the heist, just me and you. Just so we can see if we can get all the diamonds together. How do you get the Up and Atomizer? Well, I bought it from the, Ammunition when it came out. What do you mean get a rise out of you? Well, there might be, like, a really stupid question to basically try to get me pissed off. That's what it might be. Like, something really stupid that people are trying to ask me to, like, get me annoyed. That's it. So, like, if I see a question like that that's, like, people trying to get me annoyed, typically I'm not going to answer it. Let me see here. I don't understand how Ace Attorney is a video game. Well, what don't you like about it? I love Ace Attorney. I love the stories in those games. And what I love about Ace Attorney is, I agree that the investigations sometimes get a bit boring in Ace Attorney, like going to the different characters, talking to them and stuff like that. But my favorite part of Ace Attorney is the trials. The trial gameplay is always really good. Like breaking down the testimony, the cross-examination, bringing up evidence, calling the witness out, calling out the contradictions. That's, I think that's like the best part of Ace Attorney. Why are there people being racist to me? Well, it happens. It's just people. Some people are just like that. They're just, I don't know why. Like, I don't know what their problem is. They just, they say nasty things to me at times. There was a guy who was being extremely racist to me like a few streams ago, and I think he was in this stream too, because I banned a guy with a swastika avatar like, an hour ago. But basically, there was a guy who was coming on the bully stream and like saying really racist things about Polish people, and he had like, Nazi swastika avatars. And I just kept banning his accounts, and he just kept coming back and back. I'm not doing this, but I want to know, is it illegal to download music off YouTube onto something like an MP3 player if you cannot find said song anywhere else? I would say that's a very gray area. If you download like a song off of YouTube, right? It's like a very gray area whether that's legal or not, because the song is already on YouTube. You don't own the song, obviously, but there's a video that you can watch it on YouTube. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know. I'm not a complete expert on that. However, what I can tell you is I can tell you about videos though. Like downloading people's videos. There's no crime against downloading people's videos. So like if you're downloading, somebody's videos, as far as I know, like if it's like a YouTube video, like it's a video that somebody personally made, I'm not talking about like movies. Like if somebody uploads a movie on YouTube and you download it, then yeah, I could see there could be legal, things for that. But if it's like somebody who's made like a YouTube video, like if you download my stream, for example, I don't think there's really anything against like downloading my stream, because it's like stream that I stream publicly on YouTube. However, there would be like legal problems if you tried to like upload my stream and then like you tried to monetize it, for example, because you'd be trying to make money off of something that I made. However, though, there is something also fair use, which fair use is basically if you like take clips of like somebody's video and you put it together and you create your own video from it and use it in like a constructive criticism or like a documentary or something like that. That is pretty much fair use at that point. Have you ever heard the Mr. Nasty equals Donald Love theory? What are your thoughts on it? It's entirely possible. Donald Love is a cannibal. He's a horrible person. What about pushing a criminal to commit an attack, like a mass shooting? Would the cop be responsible for the attack? Well, they wouldn't be. They would. They might be charged as an accomplice in a way. If they're basically, if the police, I haven't heard about that, like an entrapment where the police are, encouraging you to murder somebody. I've never heard about something like that. But if it, but if that was the case, the police would definitely be charged with something like that. I'll play GTA Advance one day. Yeah, I'll do it one day. Well, Pierston, get your heist ready, because I'll help you right after this. Banning accounts and coming back. Why the hell does... that sounds so familiar. Oh yeah, Chatsia. Even here, I cannot escape it. Oh, it's that toxic site that you were telling me about? Well, I didn't say that it never happened, Zach. I'm just saying I've never heard about something like that. I've never heard of a case. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I've never heard of a case where the police will encourage somebody to kill somebody. I've never heard of a case like that. Like, if they're trying to get somebody charged with, like... Because that would be the weirdest attempted murder charge ever, where the police are encouraging you to kill somebody. Like, that's, like, the weirdest charge ever, because, like, the police are encouraging somebody to kill somebody, and, If my account disappeared for no reason, would I still play GTA Online? You mean this account, so you're saying my GTA Online account. Like, if I got banned, would I still play GTA Online? No, I would probably be done with it. Because, like, I could make a new character and start over again, but the thing is, though, is if I do that, I don't want to work for that again. I don't want to work for that. I don't want to go for that. I did actually make a new character when the PS5 version of GTA 5 came out. I actually did originally make a new character, and what happened was then, like, nearly a year later, I played on that character for like months, like half a year about, and then like half a year later, I actually tried to bring in my PS5 character, my PS4 character in the PS5, and when I did that, it deleted my PS4 character that I had like level 200 something that I've been playing for like half a year. And so if this character got deleted, like the character of like that level 1384, I would probably be done with the game, because I worked so hard on this character. I've had this character for over 10 years, and if this character got deleted, I would just be really pissed. I just wouldn't want to play the game anymore. I'd be too pissed. Can you add me on PlayStation? I can try to, Khalil. What is your PSN? Thoughts on the FBI in The Sopranos? Yeah, kind of incompetent at times. Yeah. I would say the FBI are kind of incompetent. And the FBI do a terrible job of protecting their witnesses in The Sopranos. That's what I'll say about that. Their informants and their witnesses. So how is GTA Online? I haven't played in a while. It's okay. You can sell an invite-only sessions now, which is definitely a good thing. There's a guy in Fortnite, he got banned for something he did 4 years ago, and he spent over $10,000 on the account. What did he get banned for specifically? Don't worry, man. I'm just making a joke. It's ironic on how you mentioned it. That's all, lol. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. That's a reference to The Godfather 2. What did I like, Teen Titans or Ben 10? Teen Titans. Teen Titans was a better show. What do you expect to see in GTA 6 Collector's Edition? In GTA 6 Collector's Edition? Probably a map, but old games used to come with maps, so there's probably going to be a map. There's probably going to be, a bag. There's probably going to be a steel case, too. Probably some artwork. Maybe some, like, a statue. Yeah, he did make that reference. Favorite Teen Titans character? I really liked all of them, honestly. I liked all the Teen Titans. I don't think there was, Robin, Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy. Yeah, there wasn't really a Teen Titan that I didn't like. I liked all of them, honestly. I'm going to Las Vegas tomorrow. Any tips? I would say, personally, stay away from the casinos. And if you do decide to play at the casinos, I'm advising you probably not to go there, but if you do decide on it, go in with, like, a minimum amount, like $50 or something like that, and don't play with more than that. Yeah, because a lot of people go to Las Vegas, they think they're gonna, like, hit big. Okay, let's, there's, the other helicopter didn't get taken? Wait, what? Let me go and get that one. Did Sonny Ferrelli know of Victor Vance? Probably, because he was the guy who was going to do the deal with him. Thank you, Antonio, and thank you, Random Fist. And, hang on a second. Khalil, did Khalil leave another comment here? Khalil, did you tell me what your PSN was? I don't see your comment here. Didn't you win at the casino and you lost it, Pro? Okay, so when I was visiting Las Vegas, right? I wasn't playing with a lot of money. I'm trying to remember what I started with, but it was like under $100. But I remember that I won like $50-$60, and it was from I played three card poker. I played 2 hands of 3-card poker and 1 hand of blackjack. I won all 3 hands. And at that point, I basically said, I'm done. I'm going to cash out. And what happened is, and I'm telling the 100% truth on this, I lost $100 in the casino. Not on the gambling, but I actually lost it on the floor. So, like, I had a $100 bill in my wallet, and I won, like, 60 or 70, $50, however much it was, and I lost 100. So I ended up losing like $50 negative still. I literally dropped it on the floor somewhere. I could not find it. It was not in my wallet. I don't know where it was. Because I remember it was in my wallet when I looked and it was just gone. And so I had to have dropped it on the floor, and that just sucked. Some gambler probably found my $100 and probably had a fun day with it and probably lost it all. So that's, it was honestly, it pissed me off. It irritated me so much. I was so annoyed about that. I was so pissed. Could it be you got pickpocketed? I don't think I got pickpocketed. I don't think that happened. I don't think it was. Any tips on how to make it on Twitch? I've been there for a year, and I know I'm not getting any views. It's annoying. Any tips on how to become a successful on Twitch? I would say number one thing is always be yourself. be yourself. Don't try to put on the personality, because people do notice that. They do appreciate that when you're yourself. And what it was is, I would say is that if you have anybody that comes into your chat, even if it's like 1 or 2 viewers, always interact with them, always talk to them, because people like that. Because, you know, people come to my live streams a lot of times is, you know, to hear my thoughts and just ask me questions and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of people, like, for example, my Reddit Online streams. People come to my Reddit Online streams, a lot of times not even to watch Reddit Online. They just come to my Reddit Online streams to hear my commentary and just hear me talk about different things. That's what it is. And so people don't come to my streams to laugh. They know I'm not a funny guy. They come to my streams to ask me stuff. Like, you know, they like that I read the chat, I follow the chat, and I answer comments. And I answer as many comments as I can. Like, I read hundreds of comments that are not even super chats, so I don't just read super chats. I read as many comments as I can, and people like that. And they like that I read comments, I reply to them, I give my thoughts on it, and, you know, I'm a pretty open person. And I think that's what people like about me. And I think also they also like that I dress up as the characters. I think people find that goofy and cool at the same time. So you got mugged in real life in a casino? No, I lost $100 on the floor. I dropped it somewhere in the casino. It sucked. That's what I started doing. Came for guide, stayed for pro. Thank you, Wasabi. My friends want to go to Las Vegas. I want to go to casinos there. Any thoughts on that? Like I said, is going to the casino with your friends is not, I wouldn't say that's a horrible thing, because, like, I went with 2 of my friends when we were in Las Vegas, and when we played 3-card poker, we had fun. You know, it was, we all generally enjoyed ourselves, but we weren't playing for, like, insane amounts. You know, we were betting, like, you know, $10, like, or 10 or 20 bucks, like, a hand. So this wasn't like, you know, you know, we had, like, a limit. We weren't, like, you know, it was, like, we all had, like, it was like all under $100. We weren't playing for that much. And when if we lost it, we would have just stopped playing. We weren't gonna, you know, keep playing or anything like that. So I would say Chasaruni was there. But what I would say is it's not it's like going to a casino is not like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad. What I would say is just know how to control yourself. That's what I would say. Because I would say, like, going into a casino, like, once a year, like when you're on a trip to Las Vegas, maybe playing, like, a few games of, like, roulette or 3-card poker or blackjack with your friends, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. You're enjoying yourself. But it's like, you know, don't play for more than that. You know, that's the problem people have. People don't know how to stop, and they think that they're going to hit it big, and that's basically what happens. You definitely got pickpocketed. It happens all the time. Are you sure? I got pickpocketed because I had the $100 in my wallet. It was in my I remember it was in my wallet. It was in my pocket, but maybe I did get pickpocketed. Maybe somebody did actually take it from me in the casino, but it was well, I'm sorry, Laren. I'll stop talking about it if you find it annoying. Nah, it was dropped. Yeah, I guess it was dropped then, but it was. Okay, Pierston, I'm ready to help you now. Pro is very entertaining in a way. He tells stories and talks about history and current events while he's gaming. Thank you, Fernando. No one bumped us. Well, you don't. Somebody doesn't really need to bump you to pickpocket you, Chaz. But I understand what you're saying. I don't think I got pickpocketed. I appreciate your concern, guys, but I don't think I got pickpocketed. I think that I got really unlucky. I fell on the floor. That's what I think. What do you mean, Mark, about that? By the way, there was a glitch. Speaking of Modern Warfare Zombies, there was a... Who was the guy griefing? Oh, nobody was griefing. Nobody was griefing. It was just one of my friends following me, I think, was messing around, firing a bunch of missiles. Nobody was griefing. Speaking of which, in Modern Warfare Zombies, there's a glitch, I know that, like a game-breaking glitch where people can kill you in zombies, like other players can kill you. Have they patched that? Has that been fixed yet? Or can people still do that?
Okay, they're expecting these chips today, so get over there in the group sex van. Unless you're total idiots, you'll walk in without any problems. Seeing you dressed up like that makes me feel all costumes for their first day at school. Only I don't have kids. Just some pretty basic AI experiments that swear at me in Russian and want to destroy the world.
Basically, I took somebody's contract and they started shooting my car but failed. Oh.
Where were we?
Don't apologize for your stream. You can talk about whatever you want. That person is being rude. Well, thank you. Thank you, Nikki, for the super chat. Thank you also, man.
Okay, you're there. Drive in past the garage entrance and follow the road to the racetrack. The tunnel entrance is under the bridge. Don't forget, you are private security, like a cop who couldn't pass the
Is
fitness
Cops...
test or the
who's
psyche
Copson?
eval. Look like you're really getting off on the power and keep your
Favorite
heads
GTA
down.
DLC update? My favorite GTA update would probably have... Older update, I would say my favorite older update is probably Bikers. My favorite newer update, I would say, is probably Cayo Perico. Heard a theory Dutch manipulated Arthur as a kid? It's definitely possible, Zach. I mean, Dutch is a manipulative person. Username is Khalil. Oh, thank you, Khalil. I will add you after the stream later tonight.
Now play it cool. You're doing your usual day-to-day delivery.
Pro, should
job.
casinos be able to kick out blackjack players that are card counting? The reason that they can kick out players who are card counting is because a casino is a private business. And so they can really remove anybody they want from their business without any kind of reason. That's basically law in most places. And so if they ask somebody to leave and they don't leave, that person is trespassing at that point. So that's pretty much just American law. What made you dress up as the characters? Great question. The reason I started dressing up as characters is because one of my dreams that I had on this channel is I wanted to do playthroughs. I wanted to do an entire series on playthroughs, like different playthroughs of older games that I love, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I wanted it to eventually get popular, which it already has. My cosplay playthroughs have been a massive success. They grow over time. But the thing about this is, when I was thinking about my cosplay playthroughs, I was like thinking about like, how can I make my playthroughs different? Like, what can I do? Like, do I add commentary? 'Cause people do have commentary. But, like, what can I do to make it, like, really unique? Like, something that almost nobody does. And I was thinking, why don't I dress up as the characters in the games that I'm playing? And that worked. It was a genius idea. And people are generally surprised. When people come to my comment section and they're laughing at the stuff that I'm wearing a lot of times. Like, when I was playing Modern Warfare the remastered, Call of Duty 4 remastered, when I dressed up in the ghillie suit, people didn't expect that. And that was, people loved that.
Push on to the vault. There'll be a guard there to meet you. Don't break character just yet.
Oh, you're here.
Pierston,
Why don't
let
they
me
say
get all the
something?
diamonds on the
People
left side of the
never tell me
casino. You get
nothing,
all the
you know?
diamonds on the right side, okay? We're gonna see if we can get everything together. Do not get the middle stuff. The middle stuff we save for the end. You hear me, Pierston? All middle stuff you get at the end. Remember, middle diamonds you get at the end.
Heavy door.
Once everything in the
Ain't much
cages is
getting
done.
through here. There.
Okay.
Diamonds, of course. I should have guessed. Good news. Seeing as we stayed under the radar, we have a little more time here. Now, your hacker can block the security sensors while you're in the vault, but only for a while.
Okay,
If the system goes quiet for too long, it triggers the alarm as a failsafe. And,
I swear to
did
God, I
mention
can't see
that
when
if
all
the
go
alarm
up. Thank you,
goes off
Mr.
in
Wade
here,
Fu.
they'll flood the place with nerve agent? No? Okay, well, I'm mentioning it now. If you're making good time in there, try getting into some of the lock boxes.
Okay. Ah, great, another door. There we go. Perfect. Okay, we're in. Gilly, I thought you were invisible in that stream. Thank you. Has it been hard to find the right suits for Spider-Man? Well, I don't have the Spider-Man playthrough right now lined up, but when I do go about doing it, it might be a little hard to get the outfits, but we'll see. Okay, let's see if we can get all the diamonds here. Quick, we can do this. Get H after this, Pearson. H. No, H. Okay. Okay, just get that one. Okay.
40 seconds.
15 seconds, we leave.
30 seconds. 20 seconds left. Don't dawdle. Perfect. Now get out before they smell a rat. Gas incoming. 10 seconds.
Almost got it all.
Time's up. Here comes the nerve agent. Get the hell out of there before you get a long fall.
The ones outside in the middle you want to get at the end. That's the ones you want to get at the end. We still did really good. Nearly $3 million.
We cleaned them out.
Okay, time to get out here. When or leave retail, they are happier. Well, yes, people that leave retail are generally happier, but I'm gonna have a video on that coming out soon. Yes, a lot of the GTA voice actors hate Rockstar. Ray Liotta hated Rockstar. It was Young Melee who played CJ hated Rockstar. What's his name?
Y'all done in here?
Michael Hollick who played CJ hated Rockstar.
How do you look?
Get in the cargo elevator and use your key card. Play it cool.
Besides rental, what other business opportunity you'd like to try?
Okay, I need you to stay calm.
I was thinking about possibly like renting out like a store in a shopping mall one day and like running an arcade there.
Keep moving.
Oh crap.
Keep quiet. Time to change your outfits. We need a fresh
Ah,
start.
crap.
Make it out of here
Damn.
under the radar.
I messed that up. It's on me. But the thing about that, what I'm personally scared of, is I'm scared of some like kid just smashing up the machines if I
Got
owned
some heavy
one.
chatter on the police frequencies. Sounds like they're sending news.
You fuck with the wrong officer! I don't think you're supposed to be.
Let him just kill. Let him just kill us, Kirsten, just so we can get out this quietly. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that was my bad. I got us detected. I'm sorry. I do a storage unit rental place. Seems like easy money and low effort. Yeah, I could look into that too. Why do the actors hate Rockstars? Usually, oftentimes, pay disputes.
All right, now stay calm. Back the way you came through the checkpoint. Nothing to see here.
Y'all done in here?
Rockstar is a really cheap company. They make great games, but they're a really cheap company. Well, people don't know about Rockstar. I don't know. I'll figure something out for GTA 6. And also, when GTA 6 will be coming out, we'll be able to see what, like, Lucia and... we'll be able to see what Jason's, like, wearing, too. and we'll be able to try to I'll be able to try to make an outfit for that.
They know you're still in the building. Just keep moving and
People keep making fun of the thing, like they're saying they're gonna cosplay as Lucia, but what I will say about that is if Lucia is wearing something that's not like feminine, then like I'll I'll cosplay that. If she's like dressed up in some military gear or something like that, I'll cosplay that, no problem. I'm not gonna cosplay a dress or something like that. Okay, let's try this again. Sorry about that. Don't chest bump the guards. I know, Own Titan. I know. I'm just talking too much and I'm getting messed up on this here. Sorry about this, Pierston. I messed up twice. I'm sorry, man. What do you mean by Rockstar is a cheap company? I mean, just look at how their business practices. You'll see how greedy they are.
All right, now stay calm. Back the way you came through the checkpoint. Nothing to see here.
Y'all done in here?
Ryder's voice actor hated Rockstar too. Has that even been confirmed? There's like a theory that people think that Ryder's voice actor got fired. Is that actually true? Is that actually confirmed?
Get in the cargo elevator and use your key card. Play it cool.
I was thinking about a car wash one day, possibly too. Yeah.
Now the whole place is locking down fast. They know you're still in the building. Just keep moving and keep quiet. Time to change your outfits. We need a fresh start if you're gonna make it out of here under the radar. Very sharp. Now relax, channel your inner self-important douchebag, and waltz right through the front door. They're closing in on us. We need to pick up the pace. Security is sweeping the whole building. Stay one step ahead, or this whole thing goes south.
Hey, random
As
gamer.
long as you stay calm, those outfits should get you from here
Okay,
to
put
the
away your
exit.
guns and let's get out of
The
here,
cops aren't
Pierston.
letting anybody through the perimeter, so you'll have to do that the old-fashioned way.
Stephen Ogg hates being Trevor from what I saw. Well, Stephen Ogg's dispute is over that is a little bit different. A lot of the other GTA actors, they were just pissed at Rockstar for like pay disputes. Stephen Ogg is pissed for other things. It's not really directed at Rockstar. It's more about thank you, Express. It's what Stephen Ogg hates is he hates being like associated with Trevor everywhere he goes. That's what he personally hates, because he wants to be able to do something on his own like other projects, and he hates being associated with Trevor. But what I will say about this is he needs to understand that Trevor is really what made his career, and at the same time is he shouldn't be taking donations from people to do skits on Trevor if he's not going to do that.
Don't know who you are or where you are. They have patrols sweeping the whole place, and all the civilians have been evacuated. So if they see you, they'll know it's you. So just stay out of their way, keep your cool, and get to the buyer.
Did you know Sean Connery hated being known only as James Bond? Oh, I believe that.
GPS. Get to the buyer, don't bring the cops, and we're home free.
To a degree, I know how Stephen Ogg feels to a degree, but at the same time is, like I said, he shouldn't be taking donations from people if he doesn't want to be associated with Trevor. Like, the same thing happened with me. Like when I tried to move my channel away from like GTA Online to other content, like I still do GTA Online, but I wanted to expand my channel to other content. I didn't want to just do GTA. Is I would have people that would just come to the channel and just complain that I wasn't doing GTA, and they would just constantly ask GTA questions on videos that had nothing to do with GTA. That did annoy me a bit, but eventually I got over that and stuff like that.
Don't get seen near him, or the cops will figure out what we're doing. I've pinged your GPS with this tracker.
Oh, we have a decoy. Okay, good work getting a decoy, Pierston.
Just got word from the decoy. We don't have long before they have to tap out. Make the most of it. All right, the decoy is out. You're on your own now.
cops here quickly.
If the buyer hears so much as a
What?
siren, this whole thing goes up.
How did I get cops? Is it because I went up the ramp to the casino?
This would be sweet. Liberating large amounts of private equity from private equity. That's something even the IRS has trouble doing. But you strolled out of there carrying their crown jewels right under their nose.
Yeah, helicopter is too easy. I like the challenge of escaping from the cops by car.
I've taken a whole lot of scores, but none of them has been sweeter than this.
I know he's popular, but do you think Troy Baker may be Jason? The guy who plays as Joel? Possibility. What I know is about Rockstar is they tend to hire for a lot of their newer games, they tended to hire, like, actors that, I wouldn't say they're not popular, but they're not, like, very mainstream, that's what I would say. Like, Ray Liotta was, like, the only really mainstream, like, voice actor that did, like, that. But, like, a lot of these other GTA actors, they got really popular from their roles in GTA. Troy Baker is more of, like, a mainstream voice actor. James Gandolfini hated only being known as Tony Soprano. Can't believe he's been gone over 10 years. Yeah, 2013, right, that's when he died. Yeah. I can't believe when that happened, too, because he had a career, he was growing his career. And it was just so sad he was taken away from us. It's crazy how much his son looks more like a young Tony Soprano in when he played him in The Many Saints of Newark. I found you for your top 5 annoying GTA characters, and thank you, Eric. Stayed where you did playthroughs of the older games before for the lovely channel. Thank you, Mr. Nowhere. Thank you guys for the super chat. Frank Vincent was popular before GTA. Yes, we had really popular voice actors, voice like the NPCs in GTA. Like you had what's his name? What was the other famous guy? Who was the guy who voiced Avery Carrington? What was his name? It slipped my mind right now. The guy who voiced Avery Carrington in Vice City. What's that actor's name again? He's a very popular actor. He was very popular. Burt Reynolds. Yes, that was Burt Reynolds. So Rockstar has used very popular, real-life actors for NPCs. But for their main characters, they don't tend to use their main characters for really, they don't tend to make their main characters, hire really popular actors for their main characters, like mainstream actors. You had Samuel Jackson for, Tenpenny, but for, like, the GTA voice actors, the only mainstream GTA voice actor that I can think of is Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta was, like, the only, like, really, like, big Hollywood, like, voice actor that was, that played, like, Tommy Vercetti. But, like, other than that, it's, like, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful to the GTA voice actors. I'm just saying is that they're not as mainstream as some of the other actors. So that's what I say. And one of the reasons for that might be that Rockstar, because if Rockstar had to get somebody like, somebody like Ray, for example, to like voice Tommy Vercetti, they're gonna have to pay them a lot of money. So that might be the reason for it. I mean, I don't know, but regardless, all the GTA voice actors have done a really good job. Every single one of them. They did an amazing job with even the guy who did Claude's grunts did a really good job in GTA 3. So that's what I say is all of the GTA voice actors have did a great job. Honestly, I don't think Tommy Vercetti, Ray Liotta, Young Melee, CJ. Vic Vance, I don't remember his voice actor's name, and Tony Cipriani, I don't remember his voice actor's name, and then there's Michael Hollick for GTA 4, Ned Luke for Michael DeSanta, Stephen Ogg for Trevor, and Sean Fontano for Franklin. And these, they all did a really amazing job. Dorian Missick, yep, that's the guy.
Think of a game we don't have. It's like a fucking time machine.
The thing about that is a lot of people have asked me to play that Helldivers game, so I might look into it. Tommy Vercetti didn't think they'd ever let him out, huh? Yes, he did. Tony had 2 different voice actors. Tony Cipriani actually Tony Cipriani's voice actor plays that guy in the gym in The Sopranos, that steroid guy that you beat up in the gym in the Sopranos game. He plays him, and he also plays Travis in Crime Boss. Tony Cipriani's actor. And Danny Trejo played, yes, he played the Dragon cartel boss in Crime Boss, and he also played as Umberto Robina. Right, you are right. Carver does sound like Tony Cipriani, right? You are right. I just realized that. Yeah, he does sound like him. Yeah. Yeah. Favorite Hitman game? The classics would be Hitman Blood Money. The newer ones would be Hitman 3.
Man, that fucking ocean. I could look at that all day.
I'm not sure yet, Isaiah.
Supposed to be sunny this weekend. Yay!
Manhunt 2 tomorrow. And also, guys, that real-life video that I'm going to talk about my mental health in retail, I'm going to have the video up for you guys on Wednesday. I'm going to make a community post about it tonight also. I know I said I would have it up tonight on Sunday, but it's just because I was just so exhausted with I was driving for 20 hours, 2 days, and I did rest in a motel, so I didn't drive for 2 days straight, but it was so exhausting that I just didn't have time, but I will have that retail video for you guys on Wednesday. I promise that.
DeSanta.
That's not the name.
Oh, yeah. So this is the save. I was replaying story mode again. Okay, I will answer any questions people might have, so before I go, I'll answer a few questions. Why are some people way too toxic when playing video games? It's simple, because they think they can get away with being a scumbag in a video game, but not in real life. So that's why, is that people are, I would say people are really, like that. I will tell you this, I went to school with this one kid in high school, right? And I added him on PlayStation. And when we played Black Ops 1 together, multiplayer, this kid talked so much trash to people, like so much trash. Like he didn't say he wasn't like saying racist stuff or like offensive stuff, but he would like curse people out. Like he would talk so much crap to people where he would just aggravate them. And this kid in school is a completely different person. Very well behaved, very quiet. As you would not imagine that this kid would be like going off on the mic and just cursing out people like that in a video game. But that's what I say is that people think they can get away with, you know, being like a complete scumbag in video games, but not in real life. So that's why people are such scumbags in video games. It's because they want to do that, but they're scared about doing it in real life because they're scared of consequences, so they do it in video games. Have you played the Payday series before? Yes, and I played Payday 3. I have to make a video on the other 2 heists, and I knew a new heist came out too. Would you be interested in doing a collaboration with me for my next Liberty City Origins video? Sure. Let me see here. Can I? Is there like a way I can look at your account? I don't. Hang on a second here. Let me see. Can I click on your profile from the chat? Let me see here. Okay. Okay, I subscribe to you, Dark Hartisan. What kind of video do you want to make on it? Oh, I see you do GTA lore. I see that. I see who is Packy, who is Derek. I'm looking at your channel now. Yeah, if you want to like if you need my voice for like a video, I can help with that. What's it called? Dark Heart, do you have a Twitter? If you do, what you can do is leave a comment underneath my last tweet. I just made a tweet today in which I said I was streaming. Leave a comment under that. I'll follow you, and then you can follow me, and then you can just message me privately, like whatever you want help with this video. If you want me to, you know, record like some lines for it. You said it was like a Liberty City Stories video. Then, you know, I could probably help you, but you should ask for payment pro. No, I don't do stuff like that. You know, people have asked my voice for like collaborations. I have never charged people for my voice. So like every single voice that you see me, like whenever you see my voice in like any kind of video, like because I have done collaborations with a lot of people. I have never charged anybody for that. I don't do stuff like that. I don't do stuff like it. Honestly, the way I see it personally is when I do collaborations with people, the way I see it is because I think it's wrong to personally ask for money for like a collaboration. The reason I think it's wrong is because you're getting free advertising for your channel because that person is advertising your channel to basically to their audience. So you're probably going to get more subscribers from that. So you really have no grounds to charge for a voice in that. So that's just my view on it. I never charge for collaboration. So if you need my help on a Liberty City Stories video, I can help you. The only thing I can tell you, Dark Hartisan, is that I don't know when. So I can't give you a precise date because I just have so many projects to work on right now. But when I do have time, like maybe near the end of the month or maybe like early in March, I could probably help you with that Liberty City Stories video if you need help with something on that. Did you know that Franklin voiced a Grove Street member in San Andreas? I didn't know that. I agree, Pro. That comment was more jokey. Oh, you were joking. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it happens, Jorge. Some people don't get their job until, they're mid-20s. It happens. Okay, Dark Hartisan. Remember what I said. Just follow me on Twitter. And leave a comment on my last tweet, and I'll just follow you from that. And then we can just, because you can just message me through Twitter, because that's what I usually communicate with people. I don't even use Discord really to communicate with people much. I use Twitter messages. But I guess we will wrap this up here. Do you think big companies are making money from student loans since they're asking for a college degree for now a reason all the time? Like McDonald's? Not really, unless they have like some kind of scholarship. If companies are offering some kind of scholarship, there's usually some kind of financial incentive in it for them. The reason that companies are so obsessed with college is it's become just the norm, I would just say about it. You're so fine. Well, thank you, Happy Solid Snake. What about Big Smoke? See you, General's Alert. They know Joey Leone on GTA 3 and Troy from Saints Row, the same voice actor? Yes, they do. They do. The Black Cats was a great mission, the plane mission. I remember that one in World at War. Good night, everyone. Good night, Emily, Ruben, Ricky, Guilted, Blinded, Super Mario, General's Alert, Lady Zodiac, Zombie Fanatic, Flaming Eel, Happy Solid Snake, X23, Senator Armstrong Grizzly. Anybody else that I missed? Also, Blinded Eagle. But I guess I'm going to be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you guys enjoyed the stream, do drop a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.